Okay.
What is up, folks? Another installment of Epileptic Gaming. Thank you for joining us here Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is djWHEAT. We got NiceGuyEd here.
Hello, everybody.
And, of course, our man on the East Coast, Grayscale, keeping it real out there.
What up, what up, what up?
So a lot of people are already asking me, what is the deal with the Battletoads? Why did you pick it? Well, a couple of reasons. A, because the game obviously kicks ass. It's a great title. For the 8-bit Nintendo, it was a little bit ahead of its time. It offered some nice gameplay. You know, I really liked the side-scrolling like ramp parts of the game, and then of course the descending from the rope game. And
I really tended to like picking up my enemies and slapping my other enemies with them. That was awesome.
Well, you know, that's actually an option of Zone of Enders, too, so we'll find out if that made you like it anymore, Hutch, when we get into that review, which is our review for this week, Zone of the Enders 2, the second runner, so that should be a good one. Now, the other reason I picked Battletoads is because we're going to be going on kind of a theme here on tonight's show, and it's going to be difficulty. And as far as difficult games for the NES, Battletoads was one of the hardest games to beat without using any sort of like Game Genie or anything crazy like this. Now, can either of you guys actually attribute to having beat Battletoads?
No, but I did beat the Battletoads and Double Dragon.
Okay, that one doesn't count.
That doesn't count. That doesn't count.
Definitely.
No. No.
Does not count.
And it was on my Genesis.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
oh, Lord.
That's cheating. That's
Hutch almost just summoned a big, humongous F-bomb out of me. God.
That's practically like putting the Game Genie inside the game and just saying, okay, here, let's dumb this up with easiness, and you're on your way. So, actually, all right, so the hosts of Epileptic Gaming cannot even say that they have beat Battletoads legitly. And I would almost probably say that the people hanging out in IRC, pound TSN on End of the Game and GamesNet, and other listeners are probably thinking the same thing. So, if someone actually later on during the Open Phones believes or can attribute to have beaten that game, then let's hear it, because that game was damn tough. And you know, those little ramp stages, I mean, also beating it on an emulator does not count either, because I know that's like the big cheat fest there. Let's just pause it every 2 steps we take. Yeah, save state. It's like, you know, it totally takes the challenge out of every game. That's going to be one of the things we're going to be talking about during our specialty segment. Also, tonight, I think this is a good top 5 list. I'm interested to see what you guys came up with. But in the tradition of, you know, Zone of Enders being about mechs and robots, we're going to do our top 5 games with a robot. And there was a little bit of discussion between the hosts. You know, does that mean, you know, the main character's a robot, or there's a and we said, nope, if you see a robot on anywhere in the game, then that would be legit. Is that right, guys?
That's right. And don't forget, listening audience, there was a robot in Dance Dance Revolution.
No!
Oh, well, we'll find out, folks. Who knows what's going to come out during that one? I actually think that once again I am going to dominate the top 5 charts tonight. But
that's a negatory, my
friend. All right. Grayscale's saying negatory. And Hutch, I don't know what you think.
I think I'm scared. You guys got some big talk. My list might look weak.
Uh-oh. you might have a Grayscale Atari list, as he put it earlier before. So, all right, folks, stick around. We'll be back in just a moment. This is djWHEAT, NiceGuyEd, and Grayscale here on TSN. More Epileptic Gaming coming soon.
There's nothing nothing worse than a competitive team without a server to call home, always begging others for practice space, having to give up the home field advantage every match, and generally not getting the respect you deserve. Pro teams need a home, and ClanBank has the answer. ClanBank offers fast and powerful game servers for almost all of the popular internet multiplayer games. Get hosted with servers for games like Quake 3 Arena, Half-Life, Jedi Knight 2, Return to Castle Wolfenstein, and Soldier of Fortune 2. They also host many popular mods such as Urban Terror, Counter-Strike, Team Fortress Classic, Day of Defeat, Rocket Arena, and Team Arena. Visit www.clanbank.com right now and check out the best prices around for private and public server hosting for your team. It's cheaper than you think, and it will give your team the competitive edge you need to be the best. www.clanbank.com.
The following is a paid public service announcement from the Parents Against Elite Hackers Foundation.
Billy and I used to play. Yeah, we used to play a lot. Because Billy was my friend. And one day, Billy and I were playing. Billy was shot through a wall.
Please, don't let lead hackers affect your life. If you know or are someone that needs help, please do the right thing.
That's right, folks. Epileptic Gaming is back, and you know, I had one last thing that I forgot to mention. Grayscale, you and I called out Theresa not too long ago. Actually, I think it was on our second or third or maybe fourth show. You remember what that was about?
Yes. It was about, quite frankly, one of the most controversial games in terms of whatever happened during open phones. Britney RPG! Yeah, we're talking about Britney's dance beat.
Now,
the freshness continues.
There's actually more behind that story. You remember, like, I think it was Tyrone that called in and said that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
the guy that was like...
Yeah, you remember Tyrone?
Like, yeah, that was Pimp.
Yeah, what up?
Ali G.
Yeah, what up?
Yeah.
What up? This is Tyrone. Yeah, that's right. It was NiceGuyEd. It was NiceGuyEd.
Oh, are you kidding me? Oh, man. Dude, that guy was like my hero because he's like, you know, it'd be better? Britney RPG. And he said it with such compassion and love, and I was like, get the fuck.
I'm still your hero, though, right?
Hold on a second. You know what?
Fired.
I now officially crown Ed the summoner of F-bombs. He almost got one.
Negative. That is negative. I am the summoner of F-bombs. Sorry.
Well, he's a pretty good court jester then, if that's the case.
All right,
anyway.
He can be the queen, and I shall be the summoner. So anyway, continue the story about calling Theresa out.
But then Theresa followed up about it afterward, and basically, to make a long story short, we were like, well, you're going to have to go get the game and review it. And she said, okay, in her normal, shocking manner, much like her. Basically, she gave me the Echo the Dolphin face whenever she said, okay. I'm like, what? But, yep.
So tonight she is going to review Britney's dance beat, and I'm just trying to make her as nervous as possible. So she's like, "This game's good, bye." But I don't know. From some of her comments, I'm kind of thinking that maybe she didn't like it that much. But you know, that's just hearsay. So we'll let her come on and sort all that nonsense out. Grayscale, news of the week. What's going on this week?
A lot of stuff going on. towards the end, you're going to see some big bombs dropping down, especially with the big show, E3, coming around, in a couple months, and there's a lot of stuff being flung around the rumor mill. So we're going to see a lot of big developments, aside from, like, the stuff that's been going on legally. We're going to see a lot of great news coming through really quick, so you got to keep, I'm going to have a lot of work to do trying to keep everything straightened out. But to get to the news of the week for us, let's start with Arc the Lad. This game, back for the PlayStation, was kind of groundbreaking in terms of role-playing games for the PlayStation, just because of the special release pack that came out for it with the numbers and numbers of CDs. Even NiceGuyEd had mentioned that he has that edition at his store, which is like CDs and CDs among, great stuff.
Right, it's like 5 CDs.
Supposedly the new Arc the Lad, which is coming out for PlayStation 2, is bound for the United States, to quote from the article. And this article came from IGN, who initially broke the news since they received a copy of the game before there was even an official release date from Sony. Although Sony Computer Entertainment America has yet to officially announce a U.S. release for its upcoming RPG Arc the Lad, Twilight of the Spirits, IGN did receive an early build of the U.S. version with a note saying that the game would see release this summer. SCEA mistakenly told IGN it was planning a May release, and instead it plans on delivering this most recent RPG during the summer months, June, July, or August. Typically, translating a large-scale Japanese game takes many months, hence the long turnaround time for U.S. releases of big RPGs, such as any game in the Final Fantasy series. Arc the Lad, Twilight of the Spirits, was just released in Japan this month, so a summer U.S. release date is still relatively quick and implies that Sony Computer Entertainment was translating concurrent with the development of the game, or at least very soon afterward. That is a good point, about how quick they're actually making a localized version of this. I mean, Xenogears, which we just reviewed last week, took forever to get a localized version of. Final Fantasy X2, we're not going to see a localized version until November, and it's already out in Japan now.
How about Zone of Enders getting about a 2 to 3 month translation period, or downtime between Japan and U.S. That was pretty damn quick.
Well, that was quick, but to play devil's advocate, that story is not quite as long as what most big RPGs have.
Affirmative. I will agree with you on that.
Every single thing of dialogue.
And every person you talk to and crap like that.
Yeah, exactly. Because whenever you go up to an RPG and you see Billy up in the upper left part of town, you have to translate properly that he's just playing with sticks or whatever. But yeah, it's good stuff regardless. But seeing them, do something like this, it's kind of bold. Why they're doing it, I don't know. I know Arc the Lad has a decent following with like the anime crowd and with avid RPG players, but me personally, I don't really see enough interest in the game. Maybe I'm blind to the current trend in terms of what the RPG players are craving.
Right.
I don't know what you guys have to add about this, but
I don't imagine it doing. I don't imagine it doing too well, because at my store we have 4 of those PlayStation Arc the Lad sets. So I don't think they're selling fast on the PS1. I doubt they're going to go too quick on the PS2.
I haven't personally played the Arc. Good game. I haven't personally played the Arc the Lad series, at least not extensively. But in the RPG world, there's defined titles, and then there's those titles that are good, but not necessarily a whole lot of people are going to play them. And I think, unfortunately, that Arc the Lad falls underneath there. I mean, you look at its graphics, and you take some of these things into consideration, and it might have been passed over, especially because it was coming out during the times of polygon RPGs. Now, is this new one 3D, or is it still the old school 2D?
I would imagine that it's 3D. See,
I would too.
Again, saying me keeping, out of this whole entire trend of this game in general. I just honestly have no idea. As
right. So we'll just have to wait and see, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we sound so thrilled about this. Arc the Lad. Cheer. Anyway, moving along to something maybe a little more interesting. 3DO, that company that just seems to keep on going. It's like the cockroach of video games, just seems to just be there. Another army, man! Yeah, anyway. Supposedly they're calling some financial they're bouncing back a bit. Taking a snippet from the article.
Gray.
Yeah,
I got to tell you something funny, because for some reason I was on Game FAQs the other day, and I searched for the word army. And, dude, do you realize that there are so many results that it tells you to narrow down your search when you search for Army because of all those damn Armyman games? I just thought I'd let you guys know that.
Yeah. There's 2 more coming out on the GameCube, and I think one on the Xbox.
RTSs. Anyway, off subject, but yeah, just menacing.
Again, yes, the 3DO Roach, just keep on stepping on it. It's not going away. But, anywho, California-based developer and publisher, the 3DO company, has today announced that its turnaround plan is nearing completion, thanks to a $10 million asset-based loan from IIG Capital and the recent success of High Heat Major League Baseball 2004. We are emerging again as an operating company and have passed through some critical stages, said Trip Hawkins, Chief Executive Officer of the 3DO company. We have proven that we can make and deliver quality best-selling games on schedule with more to come. Despite challenging market conditions, we expect that new product releases will drive revenue up and close the gap on our spending levels. And Tripp goes on to say a bunch of other stuff that, basically just says, we're doing okay. When push comes to shove, basically 3DO's finally, maybe they just realized that they stopped making crappy Army Men titles and make decent games and not spend so much on making mass quantities that they actually return a profit. I don't know if that's a new idea, but
I could easily.
All I could think about in the back of my head was I had my dad buy me a 3DO. Someone stole it, and that made me upset.
Good game.
That's the only memory I have of 3DO. But yeah, that and Shockwave and Twisted and all those fun games for it.
I
don't know what you guys have to say. But
I could pretty much sum this up and close the book on it in just a few comments. Basically, anyone named Trip Hawkins who says, we are emerging again as an operating company and have passed through some critical stages. The only critical stages that he's gone through is possibly drug rehabilitation. So basically what I'm saying here is that 3DO was developed by a bunch of crackheads, and don't believe these guys, they're still on crack.
Right, I said it before. Crack and Jack Daniels makes any game fun.
Oh my God!
There you have it. There you have it. All right, what's next?
Anyway, the opinions of those hosts on Epileptic Gaming are not necessarily those of TSN Central or any other sponsors.
Nice disclaimer.
Anyway. Okay, now leaving the whole entire Roach not dying bit back to the rumor mill, the ever so interesting rumor mill. Sega's fall lineup, kind of early to get something like that, but in what appears to be equal measures, wish list, and speculation, or a very big leak from Sega Europe internal, French website GameCult.com yesterday posted Sega's alleged European 2003 lineup. The list of possible Sega games include these PS2 titles: Puyo Pop, which comes out in August; Altered Beast, which is going to be in October, which I think is kind of interesting; Initial D, which I'm waiting for, is in October; Headhunter 2 is in October; Sega Rally 3, which is first quarter 2004; Mr. Golf's first quarter 2004; and Management Soccer first quarter 2004.
Management Soccer, go!
Yeah, right. Just as bad as Densha they go. But
hey, how come Rent-A-Hero isn't on there? Didn't Sega publish that?
I believe so. There's a bigger list that they had mentioned, including what was going to come out.
Rent-A-Hero is the bomb.
Actually, I haven't played it.
Well, it's coming out in English, so get ready for that one. Anyway, keep going.
Oh, boy. All right. If this is indeed a real Sega lineup and not a hoax, North America could also see several of these games on its shores. Sans games such as Management Soccer and Virtual Sport, which shipped to PS2 in North America last spring. Before I get into what I think, I'm just waiting for Initial D, because supposedly it's supposed to be the bomb. yeah, that racing game that has anime stuff all in it and
Yeah.
whatnot. It's supposed to be really fobby, but it's supposed to be really, really good also. So yeah. But aside from that, I'm gonna basically ask you guys, like, the only titles that I look at when I see this that interest me are Altered Beast and Initial D. That's it. What about you guys? I mean, does this really turn your head or make you wanna, you know?
I'm excited to see the Altered Beast. Actually, the Altered Beast on Genesis was awesome. It owned me. But you know, truth be told,
rise from your grave.
Management soccer.
Dude, all I gotta say is, you know what? Screw Altered Beast, dude. What about SWAT? Dude, SWAT was like the bomb Sega game, and they've never done anything with that. And I just, what the hell, Sega? I mean, come on, dude. You pick all of the crap. I mean, for Christ's sakes, 18-wheel trucker? Like, come on. You know, you could release SWAT.
That game was like racing. That was, oh my god, we're not
like
even
racing a giant
about that game.
It's like racing a giant wet turd. I mean, it's just that the game was ridiculous. Anyway, you know, I'm happy that Sega's still releasing this stuff, and I just look forward to some good titles. You know, I gotta admit, when you look at the past couple years and the amount of time that I spent with some titles like Virtual Tennis. And, you know, a lot of stuff during the Dreamcast time by Sega really kept me hooked. So, you know, I like them as a software company. Keep it up, guys.
Folks out there, you got to understand SWAT. Wheat 519 would like Nintendo to re-release Narcs. I don't know if you played that.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Narc was awesome.
Narc was the bomb diggity. Busted. Go walking up to the guys, don't even shoot them. You see them disappear into the air. You take their money. Come on, how much more ghetto can you get?
Hey, Jagaba wants
like
to know. Jagaba wants to know why we're making fun of management soccer. And I mean, like, come on, dude. Any game that's A, racehorsing, B, mahjong, or B or C rather, any management type game, whether it be baseball or soccer or football or bass fishing. It's just like, come on, you know, this console's put here for a reason, to display its power, and a 2D mahjong game doesn't do it justice. So just, you know, management soccer, come on, what really? I would rather you go out and play soccer than play a game of management soccer, unless maybe you want to be a soccer manager someday. There's no losing.
Well, you can't. Well, I don't know. Winning 11's kind of badass. That's just I don't know if you've played it. It's just awesome.
Yeah, if you got a thing for horses.
No, Winning 11 isn't horses. That's how much you know, Chief.
Oh wait, that's
Chief.
Oh damn! I just got shot down. Winning 11's that soccer one, right? The soccer one by Konami.
Yeah, that's the soccer one made by Konami.
Yeah. See, I call it. There you go. I brought it back. I got the juice.
Keeping it real.
Anyway, let's move right along now. Now, this one I know is going to cause a lot of discussion, especially from Wheat, being that his little purple beast is basically what is going to be discussed for this next tidbit. Nintendo dismisses online for E3. That's kind of big, considering all the new trends coming out for the other two consoles.
You know, I don't think you even have to read what it says there, other than the fact that they got most of it from the fact that Miyamoto said that Mario Kart Online was probably not going to happen. Now,
well,
go ahead.
Well, you know. Well, we can get into this after the whole entire article's read. I found it kind of interesting the way it was, you know, presented whenever I
go ahead.
Caught this. Even aside from the Miyamoto comment, Nintendo of Europe dropped a bombshell earlier today, confirming to us, not us initially, I wish it was us, that the company as a whole will not be showing any first-party online-enabled titles at this year's E3. The alarm bell started to ring when gaming legend Shigeru Miyamoto poured water on the prospect of Mario Kart Online in a recent interview with the U.S. press. But it was still widely expected that Nintendo would have other online projects ready to be unveiled at E3 in May. Earlier today, however, Nintendo of Europe PR manager Shelley Friend, speaking with the website, shattered these expectations, stating categorically that there would be no first-party online software in evidence at the Los Angeles show. When asked whether she felt Nintendo's online strategy sat a little awkwardly next to that of Microsoft and Sony, Friend told us, and I found this quote kind of interesting, online is what everyone is currently focusing on, but that does not necessarily mean it is what is here and now. The fact that all these games can be playable online doesn't mean people will be. It's a nice, sexy thing to talk about, but I think the reality is a little way off. And whenever I read that, I was kind of like, that kind of set me back. I was like, made me look at what was going on with the other consoles and stuff. And I thought it was a pretty smart comment.
Right, it is. And you know what? It doesn't matter because Nintendo has Phantasy Star Online. And I'm not joking about this. This game is awesome, and it has quite a draw to it. And I know a lot of people that a lot of titles have come out, and they've played them for 10, 15, 20 minutes and gone right back to Phantasy Star Online.
Yeah.
So, I don't think it's going to be that much of an impact. It allows Nintendo to focus on some other issues that they need to work on with some of their system, like getting more games out instead of ports, and instead of worrying about trying to compete on the online market. Let the online market develop and then get into it. I think it's a smart move.
Absolutely. We could sit here all day and argue whether or not this guy is right or not, but I think there is a little bit of truth in his comment. Online is definitely what everyone is focusing on, especially Microsoft. Sony, it's getting there, but really the fact that they can just pretty much release a title about, a simulation of wiping your own butt and sell 100,000 copies without even, blinking twice, they can make money and they don't necessarily feel the need to go into something like this, especially spending large amounts of money. And I think that they're still doing the research despite the fact that we're not necessarily seeing the results. And I think that's ultimately what he is saying when he, in that particular comment.
Point taken. But
for me, the way I look at it, console online gaming isn't quite as big as it should be for a major company to get involved with it. I mean, it's good for these companies to lay the foundations on it, but let's face it, Nintendo's last venture, the Nintendo 64, was kind of a bomb. So why take the risk until you know for certain that console online gaming is going to be the future of the console system?
Right.
That's good.
So there's a couple different opinions on it, but we're still going to have probably a pretty large show on the console online initiative, and we're still planning that. We have been for quite a while, so we'll definitely be getting into more of that. Now you have one last news article, is that right?
Yeah, and this last one's going to put us nicely into our review, and I'm going to get heated over this. The game we're reviewing today, which is Zone of the Enders, the second runner, those Euros are getting an enhanced version of it. Quoted from the article, Konami of Europe has today announced that the European version of Zone of Enders, the second runner, which won't be available until September, will boast a number of features not present in the game already being enjoyed in both Japan and North America. After checking out an all-new opening sequence with a remix of the main theme tune, European gamers will notice that the game features 3 brand new levels: the Train Destruction event, the Mars Melee event, and the Carrying Up Argent event, all of which can be played either as a part of the main game or individually in the extra mission mode. 2 of the game's existing levels will also benefit from a significant redesign, though further details have not been announced at this time. In addition to the new levels, the European version of the second runner will also feature new European hard and European extreme difficulty levels and a number of new models for the djWHEAT orbital frame that players assume control of in the game. Now, before you guys even start talking about this, first it was Metroid Prime and the special version that they got, and now it's the Zone of Enders one. What the F-bomb are you doing, please? I mean, I know we got the game now, and they're not going to see the game for almost 6 months, but I mean, 3 new levels and having to incorporate that into the storyline. I mean, does that really
you got to realize
anything to the storyline that
Europe is a war-torn country. They need something to take their attention away from all their pain and sorrow.
Oh my God!
What I don't understand is that Europe is their smallest market. What the hell are they thinking? Europe is the market that sells the least amount of games. So why? It's because everything takes so damn long to get to them, and so they continue to work on it, and boom. I mean, I guess for being the smallest market and having to wait forever to get this stuff, they are, adding all this extra stuff. Although I do have a theory about this, and call me Art Bell if you will, but a lot of people in the European market will buy Japanese or American PlayStations because they don't want to wait for titles to come out. And in an effort to stop that, Sony Computer Entertainment of Europe is doing, or whatever, Nintendo of Europe is doing these things to keep that at a minimum. Of course, they're still having to wait, and any hardcore gamer is going to do it anyway. But there you go, my little thought.
My Art Bell comment is
that makes sense.
Maybe Europeans are better gamers than Americans.
There's definitely no way
where's
that's
the late-breaking development about Sujoy coming in now? God.
This is Sujoy.
Oh my God!
I'm really pissed that Metroid Prime got a treatment. It doesn't really bum me out about Zone of Enders, and I guess we'll be talking about that in a second. But you're obviously upset, Gray.
Yeah, man. I mean, come on. I don't know. I have a theory about this game in general, but we'll get into that whenever we get into the review. So.
All right. Well, are we ready for that? We're about at that point.
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, well, you know what, folks? We're going to take you into this room a little bit differently. We've got the intro to Zone of Enders 2, and we're going to kind of lead into the segment that way. So here you go, straight from the Zone of the Enders to the Second Runner, PlayStation DVD, the intro song.
Look how long it is. Since the dawn of history, human beings have realized various forms of energy. Civilizations have progressed with them. So where does such energy like Metatron lead our civilization?
Position for landing.
MR 1422, Dingo, egret, unlocked. 20 to touchdown.
That's unusual.
What is?
Indications of Metatron. It's way too shallow.
The Metatron is not very deep.
And it's very strong. It wasn't here last time I came. What the hell is that? An orbital frame. My limit's damaged. Damn Barum.
Barum from Mars? Dingo! Good morning. Ready for combat?
Zone of the Enders to the Second Runner. Grayscale, I would feel like I was cheating you if I didn't let you lead this review, because you have been the man who's had to change his genes the most from anticipating this game. So, dude, why don't you take it away? Zone of the Enders 2, brought to you by Epileptic Gaming, djWHEAT, NiceGuyEd, and Grayscale. You're up to bat, buddy. Take it away.
Alrighty then. Well, getting right into this review. We could do a little back history on the original Zone of Enders, which would lead us into this one. Now, to put an intro, the reason why I was excited about Zone of Enders 2 was Zone of Enders 1 was kind of lacking. I felt that Zone of Enders 1, whenever it initially came out, it was basically two demo discs. It was a demo disc for Zone of Enders, and it was a demo disc for Metal Gear Solid 2. The first game was kind of short. The hero, whose name is Leo, who does make an appearance in the second one, he wasn't very charismatic. He was not very interesting to follow. The pacing of the game was very much run, stop, which put away from the story. And the way it ended was very much like a cliffhanger, and it didn't really make much sense, especially since you're running away from the end boss of the first one, that being So basically, whenever I finished the first one, it left me with my jaw open, screaming WTF over and over again and throwing my controller on the floor.
That's never good.
Now, maybe this is like the bad girlfriend that treats you like crap, but you keep running back to, crying, saying, please take me back, and maybe that's why I wanted to play the second one so bad. Coming into the second one, we have a new hero whose name is djWHEAT. Like I had said before, Leo does make an appearance back into the story, and he, his part is somewhat significant, but it's not as significant as maybe some more hardcore fans than myself would like. There's new characters, the new storyline, new developments, and stuff that's actually going to be explained from the first one. Since we're not going to go into story, because again, this isn't Epileptic spoilers, we're going to get into the review of the 4 categories. We're going to start with the first one, which is going to be graphics. Now, the first game, whenever it came out, it seemed kind of not dated, but it was very blocky. And it still had the Metal Gear syndrome, where it wasn't very colorful. It fell on, everything fell under one color. It was like 300 shades of green or 300 shades of brown that made up everything. And we still run into that now. However, they did clean up a lot of what was wrong before. Boring, the once boring environments are a lot more detailed and a little bit more vibrant in terms of how they're presented. Also, another thing I would add on to that would be the smoke stream effects and the particle effects that were brought into the game, which gave the action a little bit more oomph to it, because it seemed like you were getting more response for each action that you put into, like a battle or blowing up any of the background details and stuff. The graphic style that was used on the robot I found interesting, because I had mentioned it before whenever I had did the surprise review of the demo, that it uses what looks like, even though it's not cell shaded, it uses like a pseudo cell shaded effect, which gives the robot a sharper feel, and they seem to have much more of a presence whenever you see them on screen as opposed to the original Zone of Enders. There's a lot of things you can mention about it. It still suffers from the one color shade scheme. Whenever you're in the Icelands, all you see is a lot of blues and greens. Whenever you're on Mars, you see a lot of reds and browns. Basically, you can almost say that's Quake syndrome, the way it does that. Quake 1, whenever it just ran with a color palette of brown. Since I was expecting for the first one and it came into the second one, it didn't bother me too much, but it didn't like make me smile seeing that they didn't change that too much. It was nice to see them put to tune some things and to add some better particle effects and make things seem a little bit more jumpy and busier than what they were. And graphics overall, I would give them an 8. It's nothing to call home to mom about, but it's nothing to whine about either, because you can't really complain about aliasing because none of the models were really rounded. So if you did see any sharp edges to them, it made sense. And the graphics were by no means bad whatsoever, but it was nothing to be like, oh my god, lol, like go ahead and just have a party about it. So yeah.
Wow, I'm very surprised to hear you say that, because I thought that the graphics were phenomenal, and for the amount of stuff that they pull off, and there's a few times where you do experience some slowdown. There are hundreds of things on the screen, but there is one battle in particular where you will just be dropping your jaw at how enormous the battle is. It was overwhelming just to realize what my objectives are and what was going on. The amount of enemies on the screen is just like, wow. But I'm just going to go right into my graphics. I gave it a 9.5 grayscale, because honestly, when it comes to PlayStation 2,
nice.
I really thought that this it does shine above all else. Now, I probably would have given it a perfect score if it didn't suffer from some of the things that you had mentioned, but Konami, in my opinion, has always been one of the leaders in graphic manipulation, in taking what they have available to them and applying special filters and special techniques to make their graphics look a little bit, just a little bit more appealing. For example, like you mentioned, the explosions and, all of the little particle effects that happen, they just add so much to the game. And you'd think that these two styles clash, and sometimes they often do, but in this game they pull it off really well. Now, I love the mech models. The enemies are a little weak, but all of the robots you fight, and let me tell you, this is a lot of boss battles, so you do see a lot of bosses, are pretty cool. We'll go on to some of the other points, but the smoke and explosions, definitely, I love the mech models. And, the cinematics in the game are awesome. And what I mean is, like, when Vic Viper first comes in, which is the cameo by Leo, he kind of like, he's a ship that transforms into a robot. And you're basically walking along in a canyon, and Vic Viper comes in his ship mode, like, racing right towards you. He fires a laser at you, you hop away, and then in slow motion you see him race by you, and as he races by you in slow motion, he, like, spins around and transforms into his robot. And I'm just, like, watching this, and I'm just like, that was awesome. And, it's like little cinematics like that really catch my attention, and this does have quite a few. So I got to give it props for that. Now, Ed, what do you think? High or low here?
Okay. Graphically, I give the game a 9. And everything you guys mentioned is really great about it. Some of the things you didn't mention, but I know you took notice, is like when you hit a wall and how, like, the rocks kind of come off the wall and the smoke and dust explodes off the wall. That's some detail put into the game. Now, there are some color issues with the levels you go to, but I think that's not a big issue because of the number of enemies and other things that are going on the screen at a time. And it doesn't really take away from the game, I think. So that's why I gave it a 9. Also, one big thing that I didn't really hear you guys mention was the anime sequences. And the anime cuts were really nice, I thought. They looked really good. It was more in a classic anime style rather than in Xenosaga. We kind of have that newer anime style. And I really enjoyed the cut sequences in the game. So that's my thought.
You're right on. You're right on. The cut sequences definitely added to the game. Yeah. And I liked how it had the Metal Gear Solid thing where when you're watching two people on the screen, you can, like, use your analog stick to rotate the picture and stuff. So that's really cool. But anyway, sounds like Hutch and I are up on the graphics. I think you were a little bit hard, but let's see what you think for sound.
Well, that was just the graphics. You guys brought in a lot of things that I was going to add into tech, which, the other scores that come in later I think are going to make up for my graphics score. Going right along into sound, I thought it was good. Just, one sentence, I thought it was good. It was alright. No, I mean, the music, I liked. I was just talking to Lee, I was like, dude, I found the Zone of Enders 2 OST. And the music I thought was pretty neat. I felt like in some ways it tried to emulate some of the soundscapes of Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's definitely not a game that, you shouldn't emulate, being that they actually brought that one Hollywood composer, and his name is slipping my mind right now, and so they kind of use that style for it. The sound effects, like whenever you would take djWHEAT and you would run him along the floor and hearing the metal grind against the toes of the robot, I thought that was kind of neat. The explosions, the flybys, and this would be added to tech. The flybys and, like, feeling the rumble effect on the controller, which made the experience seem a little bit more immersive and made the sound the sound seem to make more sense, and it hit you a little bit more than if it was just the sound coming across to you. Overall, the music was fine, the sound effects were fine. I hadn't gotten to the point in the game at all where I found the sounds to be monotonous. Everything seemed to make sense. It wasn't like playing Dark Cloud 2 and having the battle music just kick my head in over and over and over again. It just seemed to pace along very, very well, and it didn't seem like anything was too repetitive, even though, sound effects for the most part are repetitive, like using the guns and stuff like that. So I gave sound a 9. I don't know if you guys exactly agree with that sentiment, but you go ahead and take it away.
Yeah, I gave the sound the 9 also. I thought it was pretty good. That, like you said, the metal scraping on the floor, I thought was pretty neat. You know, that's an attention to detail that some games don't add in. I'll have to admit, though, I do not like this intro song. It is way too Japanese poppy for me. And you guys can flame me on the boards if you want. But it sounds like, you know, an Outlaw Star. The first few episodes of Outlaw Star had that really cool melancholy music. And then they added this, like, Japanese pop music. And I was like, come on, man, give me a break. One song, though, that I really did like and really kind of made the gameplay exciting at the time was that first battle, that battle with Vic. When you get in that battle, that music really keeps you into the game and it keeps you popping, it keeps you, like, I don't know, excited and really, really into the gameplay. So, Wheat?
I like the music and everything, but I'll tell you what. I'm playing Xenosaga still, and that may have had a little effect on my score because the music in that game, it owns. And although this does make some attempts to have that dramatic kind of orchestrated sound, kind of like you mentioned the Sons of Liberty and Metal Gear Solid, I just didn't, it wasn't thrilling. And also, it was hard to hear the music over me yelling so loud. And I'll tell you why in a little bit. I do want to say that the voice acting is decent, and I would have given this game a lower score had its voice acted suck. And the two main characters, the banter between the two is very genuine, and it kind of goes into what Hutch was saying, the cutscenes. I mean, the dubbing is good. And although I don't like the mouth movements because they look really stale and static, the voice acting is comparable as a good anime dub. So hats off to them. I only gave them a 7.5 in sounds.
Wow. Alrighty. So we've got you know what? This is actually an interesting review because I think it's scattered at this point.
Oh, definitely. It's about to scatter like a Claymore mine, buddy. We're about to get to tech. So lay it down.
Okay, let's get into. All right, let me lay it down. Getting into what Hutch touched on before, the anime cutscenes being blended into the actual CG play and stuff like that. I thought that was neat. I didn't really. Usually, whenever you see a game go in between an actual cartoon scene like that into a video game scene, it's kind of noticeable. While you're aware that it's actually doing this, the speed in which it dips in and out of it is pretty seamless, and I was very, very happy to see that. It didn't really take away from the game. What other things about tech? The attention to details, such as the explosive backgrounds and being able to destroy all this other stuff, and the feet dragging on the floor, and the amount of enemies that you can actually have on screen, and so I mean there was so much to that game technically that I appreciated. Man, there's so much like that just completely like vacating my head. And we probably like, yeah, it's vacating because there's nothing there. But I don't know.
All right, well, let me toss out something. Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
You know, all right. How am I going to put this? There are some games out there that in order to increase the difficulty, they cheese you, and I feel like this game. I feel like this game does that. In order to increase the difficulty, it cheeses you. And, in fact, I'm even going to go back and comment on the news of the week and how it said the European was going to have extreme difficulty. Oh, my God. Why would you even want to put yourself through that hate? Because, and I'm going to give you a perfect example, okay? Two examples that happened to me. All right. There is a mission where you have to take, what's his name?
Yeah, the guy that you carry around.
Yeah, the guy that you carry around, okay? Taper. You have to pick up Taper, this guy, right, in your mech. You pick him up, and you fly through these corridors, and in order to fight these monsters, you got to put him down. Okay, you know, sounds easy enough. You fight some guys, and you make sure that, you know, Taper doesn't get hit. All right, well, let's just say you're fighting this group of, like, 10 enemies, and one of them happens to see Taper over here and says, hey, I'm going to go kick that guy's ass because if all of his life drains away, his mission is over. So the monster goes over there, and he starts beating the crap out of Taper, and Taper goes, help me, Dingo, help me. And I turn around, and I go to target the monster that's beating the crap out of Taper, and what do you know? I targeted Taper, and boom, his ass is dead. What kind of ridiculous is that?
Okay.
Making you... I'm obviously going after the frigging enemy. Why in the hell doesn't it target the enemy? And wait, I got more. So I'm going into the corridors, and I'm thinking, okay, no problem. These corridors here, these are gonna make a good hiding spot for Taper. I'll just put them up here and not worry about it. I'll block the door. So here I am fighting some guys. Gauntlet's coming out. Ooh, these guys are powerful. I'm beating the hell out of them. And again, one of them gets through to Taper. And I turn around because I know that he's going after him. And the son of a gun gets stuck in between Taper and the wall and kills him instantly. It was like, game over, continue. It's like, hell no, exit this bullcrap. It's crap like that. The targeting system has major issues. It's still like, okay, Hutch, you have something to add. I don't want to be long-winded here, so I see that you're getting all red-faced.
Okay.
Hold on. You want to comment
before
first?
Hutch drops a bomb also.
Okay.
No, I want you guys to go ahead and finish because I'm going to play devil's advocate.
Okay.
I actually, before I start going into the tech of this game, I want to know what you gave it, Gray. What's your score?
No. We've already gotten to this heated discussion. I want to hear what you guys have to say about it. We already put the blood on the floor, so we might as well spill everything right now.
I'll lay it out for you. 1, carrying Taper around by the head and then dropping him in the corridors. Okay, why does the guy come out of the corridor into the heat of battle? Doesn't make sense to me. I mean, why even have the corridors there if the enemies can go in there and attack them when the door's shut? That does not make sense. 2, okay, the storyline it's okay, but the main character, Dingo, every time I heard his name, I kept hearing, Dingo's ate my baby. I don't know. I hated it. Okay, 3, the targeting system. Please, give me a break. Wheat mentioned one area where it was bad with Taper. The second problem is in the city when you got to protect the buildings and you got to like electrocute those guys so they don't blow up the buildings. What a bunch of crap, man! With that targeting system, it was so difficult to get around. It was ridiculous, and it really upset me. And finally, to add insult to injury, after playing for about an hour and a half and dying and getting mad, I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to quit. So when it gave me the option to continue or exit, I chose exit. There was no question. Do you want to save? I lost an hour and a half's worth of work because Konami didn't have the common sense to add a save function at the end of if you want to quit the game. Now, what game does that anymore? That doesn't make sense to me. The tech of this game blew. It got a 6.
Hey, Brittany's dance beat asked you to save the game when you exit out.
Fair point. So, okay, okay, haters, hold on a second. Hold on a second, haters. Hold the phone. Okay. Okay.
Oh, yeah, camera angles, too. Horrible.
No, okay, camera angles I can agree with. It was very much like Dot Hack, but that was the same thing as the first one that they didn't really improve on. And this, now me playing Devil's Advocate and playing back onto it is also going to bring up my theory about this video game series in general. First of all, whenever you played Metal Gear Solid, period, whether it be Metal Gear Solid 1 or Sons of Liberty, if your dumbass got a game over and you went to exit and you didn't save, that's like a standard Konami function. Just because the fact that you got so upset that you got owned by a computer and didn't bother to save it mid-game.
I'm pretty
Don't
sure
blame
they
it on Konami for their.
I'm pretty sure they offered a save when you
No,
exit.
they didn't.
Do you want to save?
No, they don't. They don't. They never did. Never did. Never have. Probably never will. So that isn't an actual
I think
problem.
it's shenanigans.
The problem was you got upset by the game, so you just left.
Shenanigans.
What? Hutch is calling shenanigans Fine, we'll flip a coin, heads or tails. Anyway, okay, going on along. The targeting system is not bad, and let me explain why. And this is also going to culminate my theory. And it may be kind of backwards, but I put up with it, and maybe I'm an idiot. I don't know. The targeting system on the first one was god awful. Period. Because the way the targeting system was on the first one, I don't even know if either of you have played it. What happened was you would land on a battlefield. It wasn't even a live battlefield, like where whenever you see enemies on the field in Zone of Enders 2, that's the amount of enemies you see on the field. Whereas in Zone of Enders 1, you would see 6 main mechs floating around in the air. Whenever you encountered one, the area would quote-unquote lock, and then the enemies would expand. What you would see is the hardest enemy in that group. So if you saw a level 4, I forget that, a level 4 mech, and you went to that group, you would see a level 4 mech and 2 level 2s on top of it. That's how the combat sequences work there. So and the way it targeted before then blew beyond belief. So the targeting system is definitely a level up. So maybe my tech score's higher because I have something to fall back on in terms of what the old game was like.
Well, my tech score actually is pretty high. And the reason why is because I am still playing it because the story is interesting enough. And you can even ask Jen, who is my girlfriend, that she doesn't like the game just because it makes me yell at the controls. And, she hears me say, that was absolute garbage, that was BS, blah, blah, F-bomb, F-bomb, F-bomb. But I did give it an 8.5 just because the storyline has kept me captivated enough. I'm almost done with the game. I plan to beat it in the next hour after resuming play again. So it does get away with that, and there are certain ways. Basically, the game, you have to figure out how not to get cheesed. Like, that is the objective. Not only are you killing the guy, but you're trying to figure out how you can cheese the enemy back, basically.
Right, it's the ultimate pattern game. And that's another thing that I was going to say also. The first one was ridiculously easy. You didn't even need to use the sub-weapons at all in the game.
Oh, okay.
In Zone of Enders 2, I was so happy to see the level of difficulty put up, and while I will say that you guys are right in terms of the cheesing factor, and I do get annoyed by that, I'm happy to see that compared to the first one, because the sub-weapons before were useless. Now they actually have a strategic role in how you fight battles. Especially the grab function, being able to spin your enemies and throw them and grab stuff off of the walls and use the metal beams and stuff for battles.
Okay.
So.
Okay, the grab function, you can grab your enemy and hold them in front of you, which was neat, and bang them against the wall. But I didn't see any other need for any of the sub-weapons besides grabbing an enemy, holding them, letting the other enemies smash him. When he blows up, grabbing another enemy and holding them in front of me. That's how I beat a lot of the game. And I do agree with you, the first one was really easy, so they make the second one harder by having a horrible targeting system, even though the targeting system in the first one was bad, and really bad camera angles. That is not a way, I think, to improve a game. That's a way to make a game cheesy and make it hard by making it cheesy, and that sucks.
I like the sub-weapons, dude. Gauntlet is just my favorite sub-weapon, and you hit an enemy and it sends them flying back. What I like to do is I like to fly right over the enemy and be looking down on them and then fire them right into the ground and just go in and kick their butt. So, I mean,
it's almost Devil May Cry-esque in a way.
It is because there's a lot of different ways that that you can extinguish of your enemies. Now, I don't know if you're done talking about tech. We do need to wrap this review up. We're talking about Zone of the Enders 2, the second run. You want one final comment? I would like to do the fun cycle one because I wrote something for it.
Okay, I'll just...
Yeah, what's your tech score?
I'm going to give it a 9. I gave it a 9 just because I was happy with what they brought around and what they fixed. And just the difficulty, while it was annoying, I was pleased by it because it kind of adds some longevity to the game. While some may see it as being cheesy, a lot of Japanese games you can see as being cheesy, especially space shooters, but you get over it and you just try to get past it and be cheesy back. That's how you win. Usually, people are like, just like whenever you play a fighting game, stop cheesing me. If it was a tournament and you were cheesing and you won the tournament from cheesing, then the rest of them deserve to lose, because if they didn't bother learning how to get around the cheese, then they shouldn't be playing the game to begin with.
You got a good point there. I have to agree with you. Now, I want to lead the fun cycle, because I did a little research on this also, and with my own opinions. And I did write something here, so I'm going to kind of read it to you. Zone of the Enders 2. This is a game you play through once. It does offer the option of opening up new modes, such as difficulty and like versus mode, new JOT types, which is the type of mech you fly around, like different, kind of suits or whatnot, and VR missions after completing the game. But honestly, these are all very weak replay elements. It's still the same game, same storyline, same cheese. If this is probably a rental title if I have ever seen one. Now, this is what I think is funny. IGN states they would play Zo 2, quote-unquote, over and over again. And all I have to say to that is, yeah, right. Let's be realistic here. With all of the marvelous games that are coming out on the market, is this game really so grand that you would play it more than once? Maybe if it had more naked chicks, but at the time of this review, it had exactly 0. So that's all I have to say. I gave it a 6 on Fun Cycle.
Okay, fun, 2 things to add. The funnest part of this game for me was when I was driving around with my friends trying to find the video store to rent it at. And the second fun part about it, I don't know. IGN, you just proved a point. Crack and Jack Daniels makes any game fun.
Oh, my God.
Drops it twice in one show. Damn. What did you think? I mean, replay value. Honestly, is this a game that you're going to go back to and play?
Probably. And you know what? I'll even admit to this. Maybe I show a bias because I just like the story. Some people may see the stories as being blasé or whatever, but I don't know. There's something about it that just I seem to like. Even with Leo being the lead character in the first one, obviously there was something that got me interested to want to actually play the second one. I'm not going to make any apologies for liking this either, because Final Fantasy VIII and other titles that other game players
whatever,
like.
Dude.
So
you're only gonna be able to play that card so many times. All right, I'm just
that card is like that card is like a Game Genie of just video game insults.
Well, so is my Grayscale 2600 list card. So
no, dude, that's basically that only works for like 40 people.
No,
dude, if we go to an anime con and I'm like, look, it's Squall. Okay,
great. Guess what? This card is so bomb that it takes 9 mana to tap. That's all I gotta say, dude. That's all I gotta say.
God. Okay, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Hold on. I don't know what's worse. The fact that you made that joke, or the fact that I got it? Oh my
God.
Both,
definitely both. Now, all right, I have one question. We do need to wrap up the review because we've kind of gone over. But how much is this story intended as like a trilogy, or do we have any future knowledge of what is going to happen? Is this it? Because the second story does kind of flow from the first story. Do you know anything about that that you could shed light on?
In terms of there actually being a third installment, as with most business ventures, if the second one does fairly well, which it did in Japan, it wasn't a critical success, but it did give Konami some revenue. It's possible to see a third, because after the first one, I was kind of up in the air about it, especially with the reception that it got. But as of right now, there is not a definitive third. I'm pretty sure they're going to leave the story open enough for them to actually make a third title, and maybe even close it, much like the Onimusha series. And for the fun cycle, I gave it an 8. And I'm just going to say my theory about the game, and I'm going to be done with talking about it. The game is one game behind. Like Zone of Enders 1 shouldn't have been called Zone of Enders 1. Zone of Enders 1 should have been called Zone of Enders E3 demo sold in stores. Zone of Enders 2 should have been called Zone of Enders 1, because Zone of Enders 1 seemed like a half-finished product. Zone of Enders 2 came close, but while I still like the game and I'm still going to probably play it again and again, there are some things that are missing. Even though I may be biased, you can't ignore the things that are absolutely missing in the game. maybe with Zone of Enders 3 we're going to have a complete title, and you know there will be some closure to both the story and the gameplay and the actual flow. But I do feel like the game is one generation behind itself, which is kind of strange to say, but I don't know if you guys necessarily agree with that.
Did you ever play Zone of Enders on your Game Boy Advance? It owned them both.
Actually, no.
I forgot about
it was
that.
funny. Someone did like a fake review, and they're like, I gave the intro an 8, and I gave the game a 3, and I was like, oh my god, that's not good. But I never got around to playing it though.
Well, we'll I guess we'll just stand by and see. But Konami does have that knack of being able to, keep a story open basically, so that they can expand on that if they want to. So I'll be curious about that. Anyway, Zone of the Enders 2. I think we're all in agreement that it does bring some very, very, very sweet things to the table. NiceGuyEd and I, we had a few problems about it. Grayscale, pretty happy. Maybe if you're a fan of the first one, you're going to be pretty happy. I personally didn't play the first one, but I knew enough people that played it and watched it that I kind of knew what the story was. So, excited to beat it, and hopefully that'll be this weekend. Next week's reviews. I know that NiceGuyEd and I are going to be doing the Wind Waker. Grayscale, what do you have on board?
I'm still up in the air. I mean, there's a lot of titles.
So a surprise review.
I'm keeping my eye on Amplitude.
I'm
keeping my eye on Amplitude, but it is definitely a surprise though, because I don't know what to pick. It's
I've
too
seen Amp. Actually, a guy at work has it, and yeah, I'm not going to say too much about it. Gray, Kmart's going out of business. They have GameCubes for $126. You should go pick one up and get the Wind Waker, man, because that certainly is the game this year to play, I think.
The Wind Waker. I spoke to Weed about it a little bit. I'm not going to get into it now. I mean, I hope, yeah. I don't want to get into it now.
All right.
Too much video game hate.
Well, we're going to have a surprise review coming from Grayscale next week, but definitely from NiceGuyEd and I, The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker just got released on GameCube this week, so I'm already playing it. Not going to say anything right away. Going to hold on and wait. Anyway, that has been the review. We're going to take a short little break, and we will be back. We're going to have an open phones discussion about the difficulty of video games, and I'm going to kind of intro it based off of Zone of the Enders. So, stick around. We'll be right back. This is djWHEAT, NiceGuyEd, and Grayscale here on TSN. Epileptic Gaming. Going to return in just a moment.
Would you like your file served to you at Mach speeds? FileShack is a network of lightning-fast servers with a direct cross-connection into the Speakeasy DSL user base, giving users of Speakeasy DSL priority network access for the quickest possible downloads from a truly massive file collection. All FileShack servers are hosted in Speakeasy DSL facilities around the USA on fully redundant internet bandwidth at a real nice balance spread across 11 major cities. So head on over to FileShack.com, sign up for your totally free account, and grab all the latest demos, mods, patches, and more. FileShack is administered by Steve Gibson of Shack News and maintained within the Speakeasy network. With FileShack, you don't need to wait. Everyone gets their files fast.
The things I enjoy most about listening to the TSN would be the smooth and mellow tunes played during TSN's prime time.
Out of the way,
The drink, this is not good. Shane got fired. Now check it out for the here comes this is. Oh man, wow, good maneuvering there, mid-air.
OMFG, TSN, Fleet.
Booyah, Grandma. Booyah.
Insert go in.
Folks, we're going to take a quick song break here so we can get refreshments and all that good stuff. So stick around. From the Aphex twin, Pac-Man, Epileptic Gaming will return here in just a moment.
Back to Epileptic Gaming with djWHEAT and Grayscale.
What's up, folks? Back to Epileptic Gaming. Took a little short commercial song break there. And we're coming right into our special segment number 1. Of course, you already know that our top 5 list later on is going to be top 5 games featuring a robot. I'm still very, very excited, to hear everyone's list. But we got a different topic at hand, and it kind of comes from the Zone of the Enders review that we did. And basically, the topic of discussion, and we are going to open the phones to this because we'd like to hear your input, it's going to be about the difficulty of video games. Now, it made me think of this topic while I was playing the Zone of Enders because, honestly, I feel like I am an adequate enough video game player, actually above adequate. I would say that with my experience and whatnot, I would put myself above a lot of people in terms of skill. And so I just expect to be able to go through a game without much difficulty, without much problem at all. And normally I do. But occasionally I come across a game like Zone of Enders 2, where I just feel like I get cheesed into having to spend more time on the game because of the difficulty. Now, I want to bring this topic up because the question of how difficult should a game be is an interesting one. I mean, you have several different ways to look at it, and I'm going to be interested to hear what you guys think about the way to look at it. But, the Japanese don't really like that difficult of games because they like to get through them at a steady pace so they can keep, their library open for as many games as possible. Now, obviously, when we're talking about difficulty, we're not talking about the time of a game, like Final Fantasy, in which case something like that would be 70, 80 hours. That's a completely different type of difficulty. We're talking things like Mario Sunshine. The levels in Mario Sunshine, where they were just basically flat out, no real thought put into them, jumping challenges. And you could not defeat the game unless you went through with these jumping challenges. Now, quite honestly, I've been there, I've done that, and I'm sick of doing it. How come I have to beat a game and go through all of their BS, gotta try them 100 times before you complete them, like increasing the difficulty so that I will play their game more. Now, like I said, we are going to open up the phone lines. The number to reach us is 866-943-2851, Hutch. Your initial thoughts on difficulties. And that number once more, 866-943-2851.
Well, I got to tell you, back in the day, it seemed like video games were a little harder, like games on the Nintendo, the Genesis. Although there were some easy titles, most of the games were kind of difficult. And I don't know what I quite attribute that to. I don't know if it's control. I don't know if it's the number of creatures, like in a hack-and-slash game that they throw out at you. I'm not exactly what I want to attribute that to, but I've just noticed that the evolution of gaming has become more pattern-oriented, and once you figure that pattern out, the game becomes simple. It's butter, you know. And so, Wheat and Gray, I want to know, how do you make the modern game more difficult?
Well, Gray, go ahead and comment first on what you think about difficulty in games today, and then go ahead and answer Hutch's question.
Well, it's really either the game is too easy or it's too hard. It's always feast or famine. I haven't really found a game where there's really been a balance where I felt challenged enough where I had to go through things a couple times and I was satisfied in losing. I think that's maybe one of the things where it's like they maybe have to make you feel like it's not so much your fault, but that you're just your lack of reaction to a certain situation that lets you pass. Usually it's either, oh, it's too easy, or, oh, the enemy's cheesing the heck out of me. Well, there hasn't been really too many games where you're just kind of like, oh, well, I messed up. Let me just do this again. And then you just go back and do it again. Like, oh, well, I messed up. I'll try one more time. It's always like, oh, or F-bomb, F-bomb, F-bomb. You know what I mean? But for today's games, like you said with Mario Sunshine, it's either like, a jumping contest, or even with Zoe, where it's just like dodging spam, or with I don't know. There's so many other examples to pick. But then there's like really, really easy games like Zone of Enders 1, or and some
Enigma brings up a good point here in IRC in Pound TSN on Enter the Game. He says, you notice 2D shooters and platformers are still plenty tough. And you know what? I agree. They are. But actually, myself as a mature gamer, I've pretty much stopped playing platformers. I mean, I very little will ever play a platformer unless it's like an action-adventure platformer, like Zelda, like the new Tomb Raider, that sort of thing. But, what, Hutch?
I'll tell you one platformer that is plenty hard and probably you should give a try is Ratchet and Clank. And, I don't know what it is about that game that makes it kind of difficult. Maybe it's the side missions. Maybe it's the number of things you need to do in order to progress in the game by going back to other levels. I'm not sure what it is about that platform game in particular that makes it tough, but there are certain things that do that.
Yeah, there are. And it's not to say that every platformer is so horrific that, one of them never made me want to play them again. It's just that it's not necessarily my type of genre. Now, Jojo the Jojo the Chimp, he says, I couldn't stand level 3 of Castlevania on the Game Boy. And the Game Boy equally had a ton of hard games. I mean, I could name quite a few for the NES and the Game Boy. Battletoads is one of them. You guys remember the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
The arcade game?
No, the first
the one released by Ultra?
Yes, the one released by Ultra. That game was incredibly difficult. And I mean, you look at I remember, some of the games I remember beating that I thought were incredibly difficult. Even though by today's standards, Bionic Commando is pretty easy, because it didn't have a save. Yeah, because it didn't have a save function, it was hard because you had to sit down in one sitting and do it. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean the difficulty game is good. It just means that you have to dedicate 8 hours or 9 hours to this game to beat it. Rygar is the same way. It's like, there's no way to get in the middle. So those games definitely offered up some difficulty. I have to agree with one thing you said, though, Gray. I think that in today's standards, there's a lot of people that are saying if the story is there, who cares how difficult the game is? And I do want a challenge, but I think at this point in time, I'm looking more for the mental challenge, more for the intelligent challenge, like, how to defeat this boss, or how to solve this puzzle, how to do things like that.
I'll tell you what.
I totally see what you're saying.
What my theory is, and I blame one company for this, and that's Sony. And that's the number of titles of games that they're putting out, you know. They just keep putting out game after game after game after game after game, and it makes it so that you have to have easy games that somebody can breeze through so they can pop another $50 out on the next title to go into Sony's pocket. Now, that's not a bad thing. You know, that's the nature of business, and thank God for Sony for one thing. They do have a lot of good games that came out on their systems, but they also have a lot of mediocre titles, and, I mean, maybe it's a conspiracy theory. We're on a big conspiracy kick tonight. Maybe it's a conspiracy theory from Sony and Sega and Nintendo that you put out easier games, you can get more games out in a shorter amount of time because people aren't putting the time into beating a harder game like in the Bass days.
That actually is pretty true. I mean, I don't know if these companies...
Whenever you say Sony, though... Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I don't think these companies sit in a giant boardroom and go, okay, we're going to make this game medium difficulty because we have these 3 other games coming out and we want it to take 20 hours. You know, I think that definitely they know that gamers want the gameplay experience, but at the same time, with how long it takes to create a game and make a game and how quickly you can start on a game and be done with it a year and a half later and then look back on your title and realize that it's already behind on the times, that is forcing to create shorter games and thus lowering the difficulty. And, of course, you're always going to have the option of modes, right? I mean, you're always going to have easy, normal, hard. Every time I play a game, I play it on normal because that's what I expect. I want to know what the publisher thinks a normal difficulty is. I have had games where I've turned up the difficulty, but, for the most part, I just stick to the normal modes. But I think that difficulty is definitely... the standard of difficulty is definitely lowered. And Hutch, you bring up a good point that I hadn't thought about it. The whole idea of, the number of titles that are coming out, it just encourages, more sales. But at the same time, it could encourage more rentals,
Yeah. But I don't know how much money is in rentals. I want to hear from you guys out there. What do you think, man? What do you think? Is there a conspiracy going on? Give us a call at 1-866-943-2851 and let us know what you think. Let us know if you think that games are getting easier as they go along or if they're harder, or even if you know any titles back in the day, like, what we mentioned, Battletoads, Section Z, Rygar, games like that just kind of blow the pants off most games.
Now, I know Grayscale wants to make a comment here, but Afterburn says Resident Evil was hard and self-challenging in many ways. And actually, for me, he doesn't know how true that statement is because I don't like sharks and I don't like zombies, and that game had both. So it was actually difficult for me to play just because I feared what you fought the most. Now, you can call me a pansy now, Gray.
You know what? You already did it for me, so I'm not going to waste my breath about it. Anyway, back to what Hutch was saying before. Now, whenever you're talking about Sony popping out these titles, are you blaming Sony themselves, or are you actually blaming the third-party developers that create?
I'm blaming the third-party developers, but those third-party developers are developing those games because they know Sony's going to publish those titles for them to get those game sales out there on the market.
Well, Sony doesn't per se publish them, you know what I mean? Like, Acclaim is a publisher, like, Activision's a publisher. I mean, Sony publishes games, but they don't publish every single game. It's almost like
right.
With the Nintendo.
I agree. Okay,
kind of
so miswording on my part and good game me, but Sony's putting those titles out on their system, right? And they're encouraging these publishers to get those games out there. So it looks like Lucas is on the phone. Lucas, folks, is the repair tech at the video game store I manage. He's probably going to have.
How do you know that's the same guy?
I know that's Lucas.
All right.
So let's hear what he has to say.
Yo, what's up?
What's going on?
Is that Lucas, the repair tech guy?
This is Lucas, the repair tech guy.
Awesome. What's going on, man? You tuned into the show?
I tuned in the show. I was listening to some Epileptic gaming.
Very nice. What do you think?
What do I think? All right. Well, I'm going to cover a couple of different platforms right now. First of all, the Game Boy, Super Mario World. impossible.
Difficult?
All right? Literally
No
impossible.
way.
I could not beat
No
this
way,
game
that was
in
fun.
Game. That's how hard it was.
All right, all right.
But
All right.
you couldn't do Britney's dance beat either.
Uh-oh.
Lucas Folks is one of those dance beat games, but the problem is he never uses the pad. He uses his fingers, and he thinks he's super good. But until he gets into a robot suit for the Midwestern Dance Revolution Challenge,
don't bring that
he's not going to
back.
have too much game. But he does have some great opinions. So go ahead, Lucas. Let's hear what else you have to say.
All right. For Nintendo, one of the hardest games possible, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
What? Dude, come on.
Okay, no, hear me out. For the longest time, like, in college, we played it on emulator, and we could not beat it.
Well, that's because you're playing it on an emulator, you jackass.
Well, excuse me, I didn't have a Nintendo at the time. I work at a great place like Gamers.
Well, it definitely, I mean, there's no doubt the game was difficult. Like Soda Popinski, he was pretty tough. And, you know, the timing of the game was tough. But, I mean, ultimately, it was just a pattern game. You know, you memorized it and you beat him.
But when it came down to Tyson was impossible.
Oh, you just
Lucas.
needed to know how to... You had to bite his ear, dude.
Lucas, tell him how much I owe.
Exactly. All right, here's the thing. I did not believe the game could be beaten until NiceGuyEd showed me exactly
What game?
how to beat it.
Mike
Tyson.
Dude, yes! Oh, dude.
Tell him.
Awesome.
When I beat Mr. Dream, what did you say?
Mr. Dream. Okay, when you beat Mr. Dream, I said, yeah, you beat Mr. Dream, but that's no Mike Tyson.
And I was like, what?
Oh my God.
So with a store full of people and my employees standing around watching,
That is so funny.
I owned Mike Tyson by points. And you know what they all said to me? You didn't knock him out.
Dude, that is so funny. That is so funny. All right, keep going.
For Super Nintendo, Super Ghouls and Ghosts.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt about it. And you know what? The original one on the NES was equally as difficult.
Exactly. I mean, you got 3 hits.
Yeah, basically, and good night. And those Red Devils were the pains in my ass when I was a kid.
Yes.
Good call on that one.
I think for all the new systems out now, you know, it's hard to say because the save game function has, I mean, it's made games where you don't have to sit down and take 4 hours out of your schedule to go through from beginning to end to beat a game. You know, I mean, you can save it here and there, but one of my personal favorite games that I thought was ridiculously hard, Maximo. I mean, not to the point where it was, like, stupid hard, but the point where, like, it kept me going after trying to beat it.
It was platformer hard, right?
Yeah, it was platform hard, and, I mean, it was...
Yeah, I agree with that.
Precise, you know, precision jumps, and it was a platform hack and slash, and, I mean, just how the whole game worked made it hard. You know, but it was one of those, it was a good hard, and I think that's not really happening here in games, but... Anyway, so those were just a couple of my ideas. GameCube, haven't played enough titles to really know. Wind Waker's excellent, and I think it's challenging, but not ridiculously hard.
Yeah.
Other than that, not much, but...
Excellent.
Cool, Lucas. Hey, man, thanks for calling. Any shout-outs, bud?
Any shout-outs?
Yeah.
Well, maybe to, like, the execs at Sony to make a better system.
Amen, brother.
But then again, you know, I don't want to quite do that because if they did, it put me out of a job.
Nice. All right, man. Well, thanks for calling.
Hey, we'll catch you later.
All right, peace. So definitely.
All right, I got some titles to add.
All right, what do you got?
For the Nintendo, we've got the Bayou Billy.
Oh,
this hybrid
damn! Absolutely,
shooter, baby.
Absolutely. I've never beaten that, and I should go back on an emulator because I can cheat the hell out of it. But God, good one, dude. I'm gonna have to download that. I mean, I'm gonna have to back that one up.
Oh boy!
How about
another one would probably definitely be the original Mega Man. Mega Man 1, the one with the bad cover art. That was ungodly retarded.
I played that game so much, dude. I could just walk through it like it was nothing.
Nah.
Dude, that
game
game is...
just annoyed the hell out of me. I
That
just threw
game's
it.
butter. Just
Whatever.
go in order, man. Just kill the bosses in order. You're in the clear. It's easy.
Yep. The hardest part of that game was the robot that comes into pieces. Yep. It's the hardest part of that game. And if you get past that,
And
you're golden. Go ahead.
One more, and this is just because you can't really save it. Well, I mean, I don't know. I can't remember if there was actually passwords you could put into it, but Bubble Bobble. To beat it properly, forget about it.
Forget about it. Forget about it.
I'll tell you what, for me,
and
you
know what would piss me off the most though? Trying to be like, okay, I finally got to the end. You get to the end by yourself, and you get the wrong ending because you're not playing 2-player.
Yeah.
How pissed off would I have been? I would have been like, ah.
You know, for me, Castlevania was kind of tough. I mean, it wasn't terribly hard, but geez, when I first fought Frankenstein,
it's tough.
Yeah.
That game.
No, that's a bad game, dude.
Yeah.
That game in general is pretty bad. That Simon's Quest was bad.
Dude.
Oh, dude, Simon's Quest was the bomb. Yeah, come on, man.
Castlevania's own, Gray.
Folks, yeah, no, of course. Symphony of the Night's probably like one of my top 5 of all time.
Right. Gray's a mecha fan, it sounds like. I bet he sits at home and plays Steel Battalion all day long.
Yeah.
Is that true,
That's
Gray?
a negative.
Have you played it?
That's a definite
Have
negative.
You played it yet?
Xbox is... No, I haven't. I've seen the controller, and it does not...
You guys want to talk about a hard game? Try playing Steel Battalion. There are 56 buttons on the controller, including a fire extinguisher and a windshield wiper. Can you believe that?
Oh, my God.
And,
The only thing I found...
Go ahead.
Yeah, the only thing that I find amusing about that game is that if you don't eject, and this is the only thing I know, if you don't eject and you die, your game does not get saved and is completely trashed. And that's probably one of the funniest and best features I've heard in a video game ever. Even though some gamers are probably like, no, that stinks. That's just funny. I don't care.
That eject function, it locked my Xbox up quite a few times. And maybe because it's a reconditioned Xbox, I don't know, but it kind of jacked my system.
Owned.
Interesting.
Owned. All right, folks. Well, that's going to be it. Difficulty of games. Got a little bit of discussion of that. And hopefully it's going to get better. But honestly, with all the titles coming out, you know, what are you going to do? I guess you get to play more in a less amount of time. So I'm ready for the top 5 list here because I think that it is on. I think that it is on. Well, I said it earlier. In light of Zone of the Enders 2, the second runner, which is basically a game where you fly around huge robots and beat the crap out of everything in sight, we did a top 5 list, because you know that's what we're famous for, a top 5 list of our top 5 games with robots. All right? So here is the criteria for this little top 5 list. Robots. It could be the main character. It can be a background in the game. There could be a poster on the wall that has a robot. As long as the game has something to do or has some element of a robot, you are golden. So, who wants to start this out tonight? I will. All right, NiceGuyEd's volunteering. Oh, you're going last? We're going to close phones for a little bit here. We'll open them back up after our lists are done.
Okay, folks, get ready. Because I think my list is pretty good. But like I said at the beginning of the show, I'm a little worried because Wheat and Gray have been talking pretty big. So I think they have a pretty good list, but let's see if they can top number 5. Number 5 for NiceGuyEd. Gyromite. Dude, Gyromite gets mentioned just because it was Gyromite. Not only was there a robot in the game, the robot controlled the game. Gyromite owns number 5 on my list, Gyromite.
I would also like to point out that out of the thousands of 8-bit Nintendo games that were made, 2 of them used Rob the Robot.
Stack Up.
2.
Stack Up was the other one that used the robot. Stack Up and Gyromite. Stack Up sucked, though.
All right. Well, I don't really have much to say about that one other than trying to balance tops on buttons in order to navigate a bald scientist through a bunch of pipes wasn't exactly my idea of fun. So I'm going to have to say good game for that one. Now, my number 5 is going to actually probably be the blandest on my list. And we reviewed it last week, but Xenosaga Episode 1. by Namco, year 2001, and I think it's pretty obvious. They put what? What?
Folks, my list is going to suck if that's his number 5.
All right.
Oh, my God.
All right. Well, there you go. Xenosaga Episode 1. Quite honestly, because not only are some of the robots and some of the, the android characters in the game realistic, but there is a huge conflict of interest within the game on whether or not they, should be treated equally. So it's definitely not just your average Abo-looking, jumping robot. Definitely, like, there's robots that you want to connect with and whatnot. So enough of me getting all sappy over robots. That's my number 5, Xenosaga Episode 1, Gray. All right, let's hear this unbelievable craziness.
My number 5 is a tie. And it's a tie because one of them is the game that we reviewed earlier, which was Zone of the Enders. And the only reason I picked that as one of them was whenever you first see Anubis in the first one, no matter how bad the game was, no matter how bad the story was, he was badass. Period.
True.
And then the second one, just for a little bit of a nostalgic feel, Master Blaster for the NES.
Yeah.
And you cannot hate on the Master Blaster.
No, not at all.
Wait a second. I'm going to have to... Master Blaster. Okay.
Master Blaster.
Are you saying that your vehicle was a robot?
Well, it was a vehicle, but it also stood up and...
No, it rolled its wheels. I think.
No, get out of here, dude. No way.
Hold on. You know what? Since it's a tie, you might be safe because you might be able to drop it off the list. But I'm going to have to wait and see what the people in IRC think. We're talking We're talking Blaster Master. Right?
On the Nintendo.
On the Nintendo, right. Okay, Blaster Master. I have to call you out because I do not believe the vehicle that he drove was a robot. So, everyone in IRC, who are you going to back here? Find evidence on whether or not it was just a vehicle or a robot so I can make Grayscale deduct some points from his coolness level on his top 5 list.
You know what? I can fly on my... You know what? Depending on what you say for your 4 through 2...
Oh, dude, you
don't
even know what you're getting.
If you don't say what I say for my number 1... No, if you don't say what I say for my number 1... I don't even care. I automatically win.
I'm still kind of scared. I know Wheat called me at work to check the name of a game. He did some research on the games he played.
Oh my God.
Okay, number 4 for me. This was a tough one, number 4, because there's a series actually that I was trying to pick out of, and I first picked the 3rd game in this series. And I talked with some of the people at work, including Lucas, and he's like, the 3rd one just doesn't seem to fit on your list, but maybe if you put the series on the list, it would work.
Wait, can I make a guess?
Yeah, go for it.
Front Mission?
No.
Oh.
The series I chose was Contra.
Oh.
Contra was great games, folks. I chose Contra 3, actually, as my number 4. And the discussion we had, we were kind of torn over it. Contra 3 is a pretty hard game, by the way. Yeah. But we came to a consensus that out of such a bunch of great games, except for a couple PlayStation versions, Contra was a great series to choose as my number 4 pick. Go ahead, Wheat.
That's good. That's pretty good. Now remember, folks, this was not limited to consoles. Thus, my number 4, Bally created this in 1983.
Oh my God!
Pinbot. Pinbot featuring a giant robot in which you had to hit its chest to make certain colored things go down, and then you win, and you are a robot. So, dude, Pinbot by Bally, that hands down, when you think of pinball, Pinbot is one of the first things that comes to your mind. And although I didn't have it on my favorite pinball games list, I do think that it's definitely worthy enough to be in the top 5 games featuring robots. Grayscale.
That's a good
wait,
one.
do you have something
Definitely
to say?
Good.
Now, I don't even know if I'm going to present the rest of my list. If number 4 is Pinbot, oh my God! Go ahead, Gray.
Jesus Christ!
Oh, Gray.
All right, my number 4 is an NES game. You start the game as a ship flying, basically a vertical space shooter. You land and you turn into the robot guy you walk around to find other places just like it. I don't know why I have grew such an affinity to this, but the Guardian Legend for the NES. That's my number 4
That's
robot.
an interesting pick.
I thought that was an interesting. I liked it. Just whenever you get immersed into it, you're just like, oh well, it's just a shooter, and then you like walk around, you're like, whoa, and I thought it was pretty neat to see the fade back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and it kept me, it kept me interested in the game whenever I was younger. So definitely props go out to that game. So my number 4 is the Guardian Legend for the NES.
Nice.
Your number 3?
Okay, number 3. Now, before I give you my number 3, I showed my list at work, and everybody's like, man, that is a good list. Wheat neglected to tell me that it wasn't only consoles. I thought, a console show, console games featuring robots, but Pinbot's pretty good. Okay, my number 3 was Wheat's number 5, and that was Xenosaga. I chose Xenosaga mainly because I really enjoyed the game. Everything I mentioned about it last week. It's a pretty fun game. It keeps me interested. It keeps me hooked. Xenosaga, number 3. Can't really say anything about it. Now it seems pretty bland compared to Pinbot. You suck, Wheat.
All right. Well, my next one could make or break me because either you played this game and you absolutely loved it, or you didn't play the game and you missed out on a whole lot. And it was on the N64, and not a whole lot of people actually, I think, got a chance to play this absolutely wonderful title. But my number 3 is Blast Corps by Rare. It was 2000 that came out. And that game is the bomb. In it, you basically have a bunch of different objectives, and you have certain vehicles to achieve these objectives. And in one of them, you are this giant, like a building-pounding robot. And it's like, how fast can you bust down this huge skyscraper using this massive, shiny robot? If you have never played Blast Corps, please support your local video game store. Go out, buy yourself an N64, pick up Blast Corps. Probably cost you like $50, the same amount as the title. How much was that?
I have Blast Corps at Gamers for $14.08.
There you go. How much is a used N64?
Right now, $25.
So there you go, like less than $40. You can go out and play that game, and that's like better than some of the titles you're going to go out and so I really have to say big props to Nintendo and Rare for this one because it was so cool. Grayscale, your number 3.
My number 3, if you're playing this fighting game and you want to have a complete X-Men team for Marvel vs. Capcom 2, which is my number 3, Cable, Magneto, and Sentinel.
What?
Dude, why not?
All right, no, go ahead.
It's a gimmick team.
Go ahead.
Okay. No, dude, that's totally a gimmick team. Plus, you've seen people in tournaments house with Sentinels just using him in general.
So right now, the only list I'm fearing is Wheat.
You know what?
Damn.
You know what, Mr. Cybernetic? I want to
pedophile.
I want to bend Cosmos over. Yeah, that's the one.
Hey, they're 17.
That's the one. You know, I'm still cruising right now though. I think my number 1's gonna.
Hold on 1 second. Diz Beast says check private message. All right, Wheat. Here is the description for Master Blaster Master. There was a boy named Jason who lived in a rural community somewhere in Middle America. He had a frog named Fred. One day, Jason was attending to Fred when he escaped. Fred let clear out of the large grass jar and took off to the back door, out into the garden. Jason took off after him, but Fred was getting away quickly. In the distance, Jason spotted the giant radioactive waste container jutting out of the ground. Oh my God, this story is absolutely incredible. He watched in horror as Fred jumped into the container and immediately grew to about 5 or 6 times normal size. Fred's immense weight caused the container to sink into the ground quickly, and Jason helplessly watched as his pet dropped below the surface through the huge sinkhole. Not knowing what else he could do, Jason jumped into the hole, and he found himself falling through the dark cavern, unsure of his destination or location. Now here's where we go. Luckily, Jason fell into a slope and slid down the cavern bottom. As he looked up, he began to stare at the huge tank-like vehicle before him. It was red, shiny, sported a giant suspension system, and had an enormous cannon built into its side. It was a weapon unlike any other on Earth. You know what? I think we just lost Grayscale.
Gray's gone.
Gray just died.
Dude, let's take a moment of silence, folks.
Grayscale, well, you're not going to hear it through here, but hopefully you're going to call back here in a second. So there you go. Specifies that Blaster Master is a tank and not a robot. Reconnect, buddy.
Reconnect, dog.
So
yeah.
We lost Grayscale.
So are we on? We're on 2 now.
Here he comes. Except Gray, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I guess my computer was just like, no!
Yeah. Your computer got owned by Disbeast.
It couldn't handle you getting owned.
Congratulations, Disbeast. All right, are we on your number 3 here?
Yeah. What? No, I just said my number 3.
Oh, okay, right on. So we're on Hutch's number 2.
Master Blaster was your number 3, right?
No, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is my
Oh, yeah.
My bad.
Our fault. Yeah, the Master Blaster was just a retort of your number 5. Allow me to retort. Anyways, okay, my number 2, and I mentioned it earlier tonight, Ratchet & Clank. Great game, full of robots. There's robots everywhere. Every enemy you fight is a robot. You carry a robot on your back. The robot makes you swim faster. You fly. If you haven't played this title, rent it or go out to your local video game store, pick it up. Ratchet & Clank, number 2 with a bullet.
I can see why your crew at Gamers said your list was good, but then I wonder what games would they put on their list.
Amplitude.
All right. Number 2, and I actually forget what my number 2 is, so I'm going to scroll down here. Oh, yeah, baby, this is going to be the clincher. What is up now? 2002 Super Baseball SNK 1997, featuring a roll of baseball players on all of the teams. Not only was the game awesome, but it used the Baseball Stars engine, and if you never played 2002 Super Baseball, then you are SOL, because there is nothing like hitting 1,000-foot home runners and, being able to jump 40 feet in the air to catch a ball.
Okay.
Yeah, that game was definitely
2 things to add. 1, it's actually 2020 baseball. 2...
No, it's not. I looked it up on Game FAQs.
Oh, you're owning me. 2, Super Baseball. Did you ever play like Cyberball at the arcade where you're the football
Yeah, but
that owned Super.
You know why?
What?
Okay, hold on. For those of you that played Baseball Stars on the NES, you remember a team. I believe it was called the Pink Ladies, and it was a team of all females. It looked like the girls out of like a league of their own, right, with the skirts and everything. Okay, in 2020 Super Baseball, you can play as those girls as robots. And I mean, I don't mean to sound like NiceGuyEd here, but they're hot. Okay, 2020 Super Baseball featuring a robot cast. That's my number 2.
Do I know the Pink
two
Lady?
DJs that wish they had robotic peni. Okay.
No, it's actually called a Cyber Penis.
Oh my God.
Give us your number 2.
All right. I'm going to admittedly say my number 2 is kind of bland, but it's definitely a hint to my number 1, and if you figure it out, then you're the man. Which you should figure it out, because we've talked about this game before. The Metal Gear series in general is my number 2, starting with Metal Gear itself, going into Metal Gear Rex, and then Metal Gear Ray with Sons of Liberty. I mean, Solid Snake is badass and all, but without those actual gears to actually fight, he's just another cigarette-smoking spy.
No, I got you. I mean, dude, a nuclear mobile tank. I would say that's a pretty good pick. Yeah.
All right, now.
Yeah.
If you're tuned into gaming, well, not so much gaming, but like maybe obscure games, that should tell you what my number 1's going to be. But we'll see. Go ahead.
Okay, number one, and I'm going to get a lot of hate for this one. I know it.
Oh, God.
I'm a fanboy of this game, and there are officially 2 robots in this game. There's a robot at the end of Alice in Wonderland Land, and there's a robot
my God.
as the second boss of the Aladdin stage. Folks, my number one, with a lot of hate being dished out to me, I can feel it now.
Oh, my God.
Kingdom Hearts.
I'm glad that I picked a category that Hutch could be so reaching on.
If any of you have, listen, if any of you have fought the second boss in Aladdin, you know that is officially a robot.
Yep.
All right, I just want to say that I think Hutch is a Squaresoft spy, and he's just trying to pitch Kingdom Hearts out to every single person possible.
That's funny.
I'm actually filling the market out for Final Fantasy XI.
That's right.
Oh, my God.
All right.
All right.
All right. That was so Hutch's number one. This is my number one. And you know what? This is just going to show how hardcore of a Sony fan that I am. And if you didn't play this game, then I slap you on the hand. Shame on you. It was a game, it was definitely a sleeper for the Sony PlayStation. And you know what? If this game was never created, Zone of Enders 2 may have never been created. Dude, this is by far one of the greatest mech games of all time. Omega Boost. 1999, Sony PlayStation, Grayscale. Did you play this game?
I have to say no. That's a big
You know what? The only people that are going to give me love are the people that have played that game, and you are my new best friend because Omega Boost, that game is it's awesome. It is the unknown robot hit of the millennium.
Yeah, Omega Boost. This is the game that Wheat called me at home about, or at work about, and I couldn't find it. And then he's like, dude, I found it.
My God.
And listen, I got a message to you guys out on the boards. All of you may be hating me that Kingdom Hearts is my number one, but there's one person out there whose opinion I only care about, Theresa. I love you, babe.
Oh,
whatever.
God.
All right, dude. Lay down your number one.
All right. I just have one honorable mention, and I had asked about this before, and it's basically Mega Man. Just because he's
we got to give Mega Man props, but he's on too many of our lists, so you can understand why we didn't put him on there.
Yeah, we just let him sit at the beach and
Right, chill with Bonaparte. Because she's actually the best Mega Man character of all time. You do know that, right?
She's
what? Yeah, Bonaparte. Dude, she is the best ever. You can't. Hey, you know what? You can't even refute it. She's the bomb. Hey, she's got her own video game, man. She does. Who else? Zero and Base. Come on, dude. Come on. All right. Go ahead. What's your number one?
My number one. If number two was somewhat of a hint, should have kind of given away what my number one was. This game has Metal Gear in it, but it's not the Metal Gear that Solid Snake fights. It's the Metal Gear that a certain detective in a cyberpunk detective game goes all over the place for.
Dude, I knew you were going to put this on your list.
Snatcher.
I knew you were going to put that on your list.
One.
And
that game is the biggest sleeper
ever.
Ever.
I got to agree with you. I knew you were going to put that on your list, and that's why I didn't. There is a review of Omega Boost that's being posted in TSN. I just want everyone to go check that out. They say they gave it a C+ because it's too hard, not enough weapons, and tedious levels, but it's the bomb.
Yeah, okay. Yes, it is.
All right, sorry.
That's
a good one, though.
But hold on. No, Snatcher is like the bomb diggity. I mean, come on, this little robot that's like a wuss. It's funny because it's almost like he deliberately did that, like to have such a big, fearsome robot be the wussiest information creature in a game that was just like pimp. And how can you deny Gillian Steed's pimping ability? I mean, he had like how many chicks after him in the game? Come on now.
Nice.
Okay, I got a couple honorable mentions. definitely Metal Gear. You know, it deserves to get mentioned as a great kind of game with a robot in it. Although it doesn't deserve a number one pick for it. I don't know. It wasn't in my top 5, but definitely a great game. And I don't know. I guess I'll keep that as my only number one, my honorably mentioned, and I'll give it to Wheat.
That's right, and he knows why he's going to only keep it at 1, because my honorable mention is Dance Dance Revolution 4th Mix by Konami.
No!
Yes, that is correct, folks, because I won the Freestyle Midwest Championship in a robot outfit because that game has a robot and I am the win. But I have something new to Epileptic Gaming. I have a hate award. I have a game that with a robot that should have never, ever been made. And it was a series of fighting games that was so unsuccessful that they ended up being coffee holders and sometimes doorstops. It was Rise of the Robots, the crappiest and horrible use of robots ever. And if you never played it, good for you.
Well, I'll tell you what. I guess I do have one other honorable mention. Rise of the Robots brought that to mind because of a fighting game, and this game is a title on the Dreamcast, and it's called Techromancer, and it's actually a really cool mecha fighting game that, you know, there's Street Fighter type moves, things like that. It's a good game, and it didn't make the top 5, but the Rise of the Robots definitely made me think about it as an honorable mention. Go ahead.
Yeah, now I have one to actually throw into the mix also, and I don't know if you guys are giving me flack for it, but I definitely think it's an honorable mention considering they're making another one for the PlayStation 2, Virtual On. I mean, the twin-stick fighting game itself.
Yeah, Virtual On's great. Definitely. So, there you have it. Our top 5 list with robots. I don't know who you think took the list award for the week there, but I would have to say, after everything is said and done, that we were all pretty tied.
Yeah, it was a good list.
Yeah, it was a good list. So, top 5 games with robots, show 7, Epileptic Gaming, the Battletoads Show. We're going to be back after just a second. Is that Theresa? Because we've got something coming up with her next. No, that's not. All right, folks, we're going to take a short commercial break, and when we come back, before open phones, we're going to have our first ever guest review. And maybe this is going to spin something off, and you can go to www.epilepticgaming.com, and there's a couple of email addresses on there, so if you hear about a review we're doing, maybe you're interested in doing a guest review, go ahead and send us an email. We'll see what we can work out. But this could be the first one. The almighty Theresa called out via a challenge to review, to rent, to play Britney's Dance Beat. That's going to be coming up next. But first, a commercial break by TSN. We'll be right back.
Why is Speakeasy the best broadband provider on earth? Reason number 67, the Speakeasy Tell a Friend program. Speakeasy subscribers who refer a friend for service receive a $25 reward. That's right, all you have to do is tell your buddy to switch to Speakeasy and it's $25 in your pocket. Refer a business and earn $50. Not a Speakeasy subscriber yet? Give your head a shake. Great rates, gamer focus, and kick-ass service means Speakeasy is your only high-speed choice. Join the thousands of gamers who've already made the switch and find out why Speakeasy is now the largest privately held broadband provider in the United States. www.speakeasy.net. Some restrictions apply. Must be a Speakeasy subscriber to qualify. See website for details.
Let's review, shall we? Earlier this summer, we covered UVA Land 4 live from Virginia.
All he's got to do is hold on to that flag. No, he can't do it. Oh, my God.
Then we moseyed on down to Texas and broadcasted QuakeCon live on location.
QuakeCon 2002, come on! Oh, yeah!
Then we got lost in New York City for the World Cyber Game US Final.
WCG US Championships. You may cheer now.
After that, it was off to Korea for the World Cyber Game Grand Finale.
on day one of WCG 2002, I have finally connected to the stream. Not from home, not from New York, not from Dallas, but from Daejeon, Korea.
So, maybe we should take a break. Nah, that's where we've been.
Is where we're going.
QuakeCon 2003, live from Dallas, Texas. The Intel Masters Championships, the World's Cyber Games in 2003, and your online favorites such as Bob 2. You're locked on to your esports revolution for 2003 and beyond. This is the Team Sportscast Network. TSN.
Epileptic Gaming, Epileptic Gaming, Epileptic Gaming, Epileptic Gaming.
We rock the body, come on. We rock the body, come on. 1-866-WHEAT 519. That's 1-866-385-1.
Welcome back to Epileptic Gaming. This is the third hour where we open the phone lines to you. But before we do that, we're going to have a little bit something special, never been done before here on Epileptic Gaming. We are going to have a guest review by Theresa. And for those of you that have tuned into Epileptic Gaming, you probably know that she is a regular caller and a regular listener, and we appreciate her support. If you like Epileptic Gaming and you know friends that have consoles, let them know about it. It's so easy to tune in. We'd love to hear from them, and we'd love to get some more listener support. So thanks for tuning in. We're going to bring Theresa on here. And, baby, before I bring Theresa on, tell her that I say speak up, because everyone always says that Theresa's so quiet. So, all right, we're going to bring Theresa on. Brittany's Dance Beat review. Here it comes. Theresa, what's going on?
Hey, I'm kind of sick, so, yeah, the speaking up part might be a problem.
Oh, you're kind of sick.
Yeah.
What's wrong? Play too much Brittany's Dance Beat?
Dance herself dehydrated.
All right, so we gave you the criteria for a review. Why don't you break it down for us?
Wait, first I have to say Grayscale is terrible at impersonating me. Okay, anyway.
Why is she always trying to make me cry? What the hell?
To look at the games that day,
Yeah,
Brittany's Dance Beat conversation never would have come up.
that's true. That's true.
I can't think I can even explain how terrible this game is.
Oh my God.
But I'll try.
wow.
Okay. I guess I'll start with gameplay.
Okay.
And I gave it a 4.
Out of 10? Out of 10, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Out of
100. I used a dance pad. I used a dance pad, and it was really easy. And there aren't any difficulty levels, but I beat in about like 2 hours, like combining all of the time that I took it to get to the end, because I couldn't play it for more than like 10 minutes straight. The challenge in this game is really more of a mental one in how much of Brittany's Dance Beat can you take.
But she is pretty hot, Theresa. You got to.
Yeah, is she hot in the game?
No, like it's scary because
Are there codes to make her naked?
there'll be this bonus time and while you're playing, and then all of a sudden Brittany's Dance Beat face comes up with like this perma smile on her face.
Whoa!
That's
hilarious. Is her eyes got spirals in them, and she's like, "You will obey."
Yeah. Have you had nightmares from playing this game?
Oh, I do.
I knew it. So what about the graphics? How well is Brittany proportioned in this game?
Yeah, are her tits big?
I don't think you can say that.
They're normal.
No, you could say are her breasts big, but I don't think you could say.
Does she have very large personality?
They don't really at all. Like they didn't motion capture that, but like it was all motion captured. But when I was watching the credits, none of it was done by Britney's dancers or Britney or... You know, it's kind of a bummer because 989 Studios, who makes Game Day, can get sports stars into their studio to get the genuine moves down. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, even 989 Studios and Britney's dance beat couldn't even get Britney or one of her dancers.
Dude, that's weak. Wow. That's weak.
And,
So keep going.
Yeah, the mocap is the same for the guys, too. So they both, do the same. But if you look at the guys, they just kind of slide around a lot. And, it's pretty messy and bad. And
So what about the
horrible.
music? Is it all Britney songs?
Yeah, it's 5 Britney songs.
Do they have Oops, I Did It Again?
Oops, I did it again.
Do they have the...
I can't believe I know the fucking
Oh, man.
Yeah, they get really, really old since there's like...
Man, that was Hutch's first F-bomb, I think.
My first F-bomb, I'm so sorry. But I know the melody to that song, and it sucks.
Look what happened.
It's a summoning of F-bombs award for today.
I'm sorry.
Look what happens here when Britney's dance beat gets reviewed on Epileptic Gaming.
It causes a reaction.
It causes epileptic seizures for the wrong reasons.
It does. And the songs get really old because there's like 5 of them and you have to play through them twice unless you screw up, and then you just have to play a ton and a ton.
So you did not beat the game.
What?
You did not beat the game.
No, I did beat the game.
Oh, you did beat it.
Today, yeah.
Oh, so does she take any clothes off when you beat the game?
Do you want me to spoil the ending?
Yes, absolutely.
The one time
This is the one time you're allowed to spoiler.
Oh no. Let's see. I forget what she says. She says, it's been great. See you soon. Bye now.
And she takes off her top.
And then it just goes away.
And then does Oops, I Did It Again.
Oh, no.
It's so terrible.
The djWHEAT version, that is.
Wow.
There aren't any sound
With a
effects
dancing
in the
robot
game.
in the back.
So
Or in the whole game, other than like...
there's no like swish of dance moves or anything?
No,
That's
there's-
ridiculous.
There's one when the colorful lights come up when you get a combo. So at the beginning it shows a silent thing of Britney dancing by herself on a wooden floor in an empty room. And she's like, oh, howdy, like she was just caught off guard while she was practicing or something.
Wow.
And she's like some crazy ninja, because if I was dancing wearing heels in an empty room, I wouldn't be completely silent like it was
Right.
in the intro.
Britney's a ninja in this game.
He is a ninja.
She's a ninja. Wow. So what about replay?
I don't think I would play this ever again.
Okay. Okay.
Unless it was when I went to Nebraska, and maybe you would,
What?
with me.
Oh, okay.
playing.
All right. Well, we might be able to arrange that. Now, I've got one last question for you.
Yeah.
Or actually a request. When you take this game back to Blockbuster, go ahead and in the dust on the dust which is collected, since no one in their right mind has possibly played this game of the actual title, write "This game sucks ass" and then hand it back to
Really,
them.
it was scratched too, because people have been playing it.
Dude, are you sure it wasn't because people were taking it out of their machines and throwing it up against
I
the
don't know,
wall?
it could be, but when I got it,
Maybe they were mixing it on their CD turntables.
I even got
God.
renting it. She was like, Britney's dance beat.
So were you embarrassed to rent this game?
A little bit.
Dude, that is awesome. That is awesome.
It has the porno embarrassment factor in it.
Exactly.
So ashamed.
The porno embarrassment factor. Oh my God.
Teresa, do you have any little sisters or
I was a
siblings?
Britney fan, because you weren't getting any Britney other than the poly version of her with someone else's voice and someone else's moves.
And the crazy spiral eyes somewhere in the middle, right?
So, if you're looking for the best video game to ever hit the shelves, you're not going to find it at Toys R Us, so don't even think about it.
That's right. You're not going to find it at Toys R Us. I'm so glad that you're learning.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
That's
Well,
my review, I think, unless you have any...
Nope, that is it. I have asked all the questions. Does anyone have any last questions?
Teresa, you're a brave woman for renting that game. The only thing I want to know is, did you send a little sister or brother in first to pick it out for you?
Oh, no, I didn't.
You know, Theresa, you are going to be the next Sean Baby.
What's that?
Sean Baby is a guy who reviews all the games that no one will review in EGM, and he's got a history. He's kind of like a cult classic on some of the websites. But you got to dye your hair some funky colors and make a lot of toilet references to the games that you play.
That's awesome.
No, actually, don't make the toilet references. Anyway, thank you so much, Theresa. You have been the first official guest review. Brittany's Dance Feed. Overall score, 1 out of 10.
What? I gave most of the things a 4, so I think I'll have to average it out to a 4.
All right, well, you know, it's okay in the video game mathematical world that your overall score results in a 1. So if you want to change it, now's your chance.
Yeah.
You're going to keep with the 4? You had a little bit of fun?
Oh, you know what's even worse? I was just thinking about it. The videos, they play her videos in the background, and they're totally out of sync with, like, the music. It'll zoom in on her mouth, and it, like, won't be with what she's saying, and,
So, you're staying with a 4?
I guess.
Do you want to make that out of 100?
You know what I mean? It's like, if you're a fan of Britney Spears, you might as well buy it or rent it or something.
Something, but otherwise...
Maybe a 4 to a 3, just because, yeah.
Yeah, otherwise just stay the hell away.
Exactly.
All right, well, thank you so much. What, you have something?
Yeah, Dan wanted to talk to you about the difficulty of...
Oh, so we're getting some double teamage here. All right, well, bring Dan on. This is a marathon call.
Does this make the phone lines officially open?
Yes, that makes the phone lines officially open now that Theresa is done with her review. Thank you, Theresa.
No problem.
Dan the man.
Hey.
What's up, Dan?
What up, Dan?
I had to clear our names because I heard you guys saying third-party developers being part of the problem there, and I really disagree with that. Because I've seen a lot of titles go through this where you have a really good producer and the game's like perfect difficulty. It's the most fun game ever. And the publisher comes in, and that is when I think the problem with difficulty of games hits.
Dan, who do you work for?
I worked for Presto, and I worked for Gratuitous, and I just started my own company actually today.
What titles, what have they put out?
What's that?
What have they put out?
Who, Presto?
Yeah.
They did, the latest titles were Myst 3 and Whacked for Xbox.
Oh my god, I have the post-mortem from game developers about that company.
And you have Whacked. Why didn't you guys add a little more nudity in that?
We couldn't do that, dude.
Well, that game,
it
needs the nudity to make it own.
Teen rating, they'd pull the plug.
A teen rating. Okay.
Wow. And that's the other thing. That's the other problem, dude. Like these ratings that they... Or not the ESRB ratings, but the difficulty ratings. They do that too. They have like kid, teen, adult.
Right. I thought those
like everybody plays games now. You know.
So that's what those ratings.
You can't really put that on that.
I thought those were ESR ratings.
They are.
Right.
Yeah, they are. But there's like
those are also difficulty ratings.
No, I mean that's what us as a developers deal with when we talk to the publisher. You have these difficulty ratings, and you know, like our kid's going to play this, our teen's going to play this. And like with the teen one, they're thinking of just phasing it out because there's so many people that are new to games and people like us that just played games forever. So like it just kind of doesn't make sense to go, yeah, any teen can come up and play this game because you know, everybody, I don't know, you know, people are just getting their Xboxes and it's their first, you know, console thing ever, their first games they've ever played.
Hey, do you want to do me a favor? You're starting your own company, right?
Yeah.
How about Sim Serial Killer?
Oh my god!
You know what?
You want to work on that? It'd be sweet, man. It'd be sweet. Like I said before, you do some like, you know, parents lock you in the closet, some animal abuse, you know, killing a friend, and from there on, however unique you take people out,
dude,
that game would own. You know how many Japanese people would buy that game? They would love it.
On fire and lock everyone in.
Exactly.
Yeah, that would be sweet.
That was good stuff.
If you'd like to hire us as consultants for that game, we can do that. So
if this project we're doing is a success, success, I'll be more than ready to.
All right, Sim Serial Killer could be coming. I think that I could probably get Sid Meier to jump in and do some development work for us as well. So
that would be cool.
I honestly think that game would do awesome in Japan.
It probably would.
Oh my God.
So would Sim Scat Eater.
Oh no, God! For the love of Christ!
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to scat drop anything.
Are there three?
Oh my
What's that?
God!
Are there three of you over there now?
Is there what?
Are there three people talking right now, or?
Yeah, we've got Ed and.
Confusing now when
Great.
I call in. I don't
Sorry,
know.
sorry. It's all You got to be like you got to be more than a game developer to be able to understand what's going on in Epileptic Gaming.
Right, we're deep. We're on a whole nother level, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I really don't think it's the third-party developers for the most part.
Well, there we got a comment right from the source, so we'll see what other people have to say about that. But right. I'm down with believing that it coming right from the source. So
right on.
All right. So did you play Britney's Dance Beat?
No, but I did witness Theresa playing it.
And did she have a smile on her face ever?
Oh, not really.
Okay. My next question. Hold on. One more is how come you did not take some pictures of this?
Yeah. And I got a question.
I don't know.
Was it pretty hot to watch? Because in my mind, I think it was probably pretty sweet.
Here's the thing. When you watch somebody play Britney's Dance Beat, it's nothing like watching someone play DDR. You know, like DDR touches a lot closer to it than Britney's. Because, like, Britney's usually just touches, like, two of the arrows. So you see the person and they look like they're doing like some kind of hoedown or something because they got to keep doing just the right.
A hoedown, great.
Hoedown,
great.
You know, she literally was stepping on the same arrow for like a minute or something, and then when she picked this game up.
I'll tell you what. Tell her to get in a robot suit, and it's probably going to be better.
Dude, whatever.
Yeah, I saw that. That's
God. Did you see my robot suit?
I saw a suit, but I didn't see the video. I wanted to.
Oh, but the suit was pretty pimp, huh?
Yeah, it was badass.
All right, there you go. All right, Dan.
Cool.
Thanks for talking to us.
All right,
we'll talk to you later. Peace. All right, folks. The phone lines are open. 866-943-2851. He brought a Sim serial killer. Did someone already say?
There's enough.
Is there already a Sim serial killer? No. Oh, they got Sim Home Invasion. Dude, that's not nearly as cool as Sim Serial Killer, though. Not nearly as cool. I think we got another caller coming up here soon. But, Dan did bring an interesting point to the table that it might be more the publisher. And I could see that, seeing that they're the ones attaching their name to the title. And, they're re-releasing Counter-Strike.
Whenever he said he was from Presto.
Presto? Oh, yeah, we got Harlock. We got Harlock. Hold on. We'll let you comment on that Presto bit in a sec here. Harlock. Right. Yo, Harlock. This is djWHEAT, NiceGuyEd, and Grayscale. What's going on?
What's up, guys? How's it going?
It's going great. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Good show today.
Thank you. So you want to comment about your top mech games?
My top mech game was a series that I discovered. Literally, I took a chance in a magazine, and I imported this game on the SNES, which was Front Mission.
Yeah.
But the best game and the hardest mech game I've ever played has to be Front Mission 2nd for the PlayStation.
Yeah, I have that. That's
that
awesome.
Had a swear factor up in 11 or 12.
It what?
A swear factor.
Oh, a swear factor.
How much they
An F-bomb factor of.
Oh yeah.
Is it exactly like the gameplay of the other ones? Because honestly, I've only played Front Mission 3, and I loved it. It was a little bit tedious, but I did like, I thought it was a good square game.
Front Mission 2nd actually used a more complex version of the Final Fantasy Tactics style of gameplay.
Yeah, it was seriously
awesome. We're talking
believe.
like 120 to 160 hours worth of gameplay.
Wow.
And when you were in a mission, you couldn't save. And sometimes missions would go 2-3 hours. And you just get your ass handed to you. And it's like,
I just remembered another game that I'm ashamed that I didn't put it on there. And, God, if I can't remember it, I want to say Metal Marines for the Super Nintendo. Metal Marines?
Oh, no.
No, don't remember that one.
Oh, sorry. Well, Metal Marines. Anyway, someone will know that one. Anyway,
Front Mission, the story was amazing for the first 2 games. Third game, it kind of fell off. But the gameplay was outstanding. The customization of the mechs, outstanding. It was the whole reason why I still have my PlayStation right now. So, I'm not really a next gen console guy. I'm more of a NES, Super NES kind of guy.
Nice.
The only reason I have my PlayStation is for Front Mission.
Wow.
Interesting. Yeah, Front Mission second was
All right, you
definitely
take care, guys.
All right, hey, Harlock.
Shout out.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I'd like to give a shout out to my clan, Weekend Warriors, the original Weekend Warriors back in 1996, not the Weekend Warriors from Counter-Strike, but the original Weekend Warriors, the Quake 1 clan, which is now playing Unreal Tournament 2003.
Yeah.
And just a shout out to you guys.
Right on.
All right.
Thanks, Harlock. Peace. There's a good one. Front Mission's definitely good. Gray, you said you played
Front
the second
Mission
one.
Second. Oh my God, second one was like unbelievable. Storyline was interesting. I mean, at first it was hard for me to follow until I got a guide to follow the actual dialogue. But that game was ridiculously hard. But man, that game was so much fun. It was ridiculous. Just good memories of it. But
yeah, I don't think I
the
beat
Presto thing.
3.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, I don't think Front Mission 3 was the only one to play it. I don't think I beat it. It just took too long. I think Brave Fencer Musashi came out, and then I was like, hell yeah, I'm all over this. But go ahead, that Presto thing.
Yeah, that Presto thing, I was like, whoa, because I remember, because I was in the industry briefly, like for maybe 4 to 6 months doing level design, and I still get my subscriptions to Game Developer Magazine. I remember when I read the post-mortem on Presto Studios, and it was actually the first post-mortem about a company failing, and it went into all of the details as to what all the bad stuff that went on. So whenever he said he was from Presto, I was like, whoa, I read about that in like detail, and I was like, wanted to find out more. But yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting.
Well, the number to call in, folks, 866-943-2851. We still got about 35 minutes left in tonight's show, and I think we have had a pretty good one tonight. And kind of enjoyed the difficulty discussion. Definitely liked the top 5, and of course Zone of Ender as well. So nice to have kind of a mixed review on that. So I'm still looking forward to beating it.
Right.
If I'm going to be able to, if I don't get cheesed to death.
Right. While we got a little break waiting for our callers, I just want to let everybody know that this month, I think March 2003 was probably one of the best months for game releases, in my opinion. There are a lot of great games that came out this month. You had Xenosaga, Breath of Fire, Zelda, the Game Boy Advanced SP, Auto Modelisto. I bet I butchered that pretty bad. Dynasty Warriors, the Jurassic Park sim game. I think from this point on, we're going to have some letdowns in the following months, but, that's okay. Looks like we got a caller, third. Let's
T-Bird.
T-Bird. I'm sorry. What's up, T-Bird?
Hey guys, what's up?
Not much, man. Let us know.
I want to mention a few games that you may have missed. I just recently picked up Facile for the Neo Geo Pocket.
Wait. Which game?
Facile. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. F-A-S-E-L-E-I.
Oh, I've not heard of this one. For the Neo Geo Pocket, huh?
Yeah.
Fazoli's? They make great breadsticks.
So, what kind of game is this? Obviously mech or something robot related, right?
Yeah, it's a mech game, and the big crux about that is you pick your moves 5 at a time, like move forward, turn right, fire main weapon.
Oh, it's like that one they released on the PlayStation that it's almost like it's a control type sim. I know exactly the type of genre you're talking about.
That one game where you had a character and you press buttons and you use a controller.
Dude, shut up.
Oh,
no,
God.
where you inputted your commands
loses.
like go forward 2, block, go forward 1, fire, and then you basically like programmed your robots to do what you wanted to do, right?
Right.
Okay. What else you got on there?
Taking the concept to the extreme was a game on the PC called Mind Rover.
Mind Rover. I'm not familiar with that one.
It was basically like BattleBots, and you constructed your robot out of various parts.
Is this the one they did over the internet? where you could battle people over the internet?
I don't know. The only time I ever saw it was in Atlanta. I thought it was a really neat time.
I bet you that is it, because I remember seeing something a guy showed me at work where you could actually go and bet on your robots off of this site, and you created your own robots. It was exactly like BattleBots. I'm going to have to ask him about that one.
I went to the site just a minute ago to check it out, and they've even got a little, like, Lego thing that you can buy, and you can download your robot subroutines onto that and watch it perform for you.
Nice. If you're into Legos, then that's definitely something to check out.
Yeah.
All right, anything else you got to add?
The final one was probably the most fun I ever had with a robot game was Shogo Mobile Armor Division.
That was a cool game. That was definitely pretty cool.
Didn't do too good in the reviews.
No, it didn't. It did have some problems, but I mean, for PC games and the lack of games with mechs in it, that was still really cool. Shogun, you remember that?
Right.
Or Shogo, right?
Right.
Right, Shogo. Yeah.
It got clouded with all those kind of.
It did get clouded.
Mediocre PC games. Although that one was good. There's just so many mediocre games on the PC.
Yeah, exactly. All right, man, you got any shouts you want to give?
Well, I wanted to address the game difficulty.
Oh, okay, sure.
I think I agree that games are in general easier nowadays. I mean, you look back on the NES, you have Ninja Gaiden and Shatterhand, Super Contra, and on the Sega CD, the worst ever, in my opinion, was Robo Alesta.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
At the same time, I think we can thank the easier games for the fact that it's brought gaming to the mainstream, because most people, they just come home, they're tired, they're frustrated, they don't need frustration, they just want a quick, easy, fun distraction.
That's true. That's very true.
Right. That's why we can thank Grand Theft Auto, because when I come from work, I know I want to kill people.
Oh my God.
Hey,
counter material right there.
Hey,
oh my God.
Where are you calling from, bub? You kind of got that Georgia slang.
Montgomery, Alabama.
Yeah. You know, my family originates from Talladega, home of the Talladega 500. So.
Oh my God! I'm just over. You know, there's also a deep dark secret that NiceGuyEd has, and that is that his family is and was in voodoo. And Hutch can read tarot cards, or tarot cards, rather, excuse me. And, like, he can throw stones and read stuff and, I don't know, reads the stars and predicts things. And, yeah, so it's...
You know, all kidding aside, he's serious. I can do that. I can read tarot, I can throw rune cards, and, yeah, I can tell you the story of the sky. And on top of that... I can put that voodoo love curse on you.
Oh, God, get out the white cane, folks, because I think NiceGuyEd's about to get the hook. All right.
I can tip cows.
Right on. There's a skill.
I can too, unless it's raining, and then I get pinned under them and slide down the hill. But that's a whole different story.
And that's actually the position that he enjoys. All right, any shout-outs you want to give?
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout-out to Clan Kittens Litter, Clan Crimson Tide, and Clan GDI.
Kittens Litter?
Yes.
Is that like a litter of kittens, or is that the bad ammonia-smelling kittens litter box?
Yeah, that's Litter of Kittens.
Okay, litter of kittens. Just double-checking.
All right, and congratulations. You got your first call from the ass end of nowhere.
All right, hey, thanks, man. We appreciate calls from the ass end of nowhere. Have a good night, man. Bye-bye.
Live from Timbuktu, it's the next caller.
Maybe we'll get somebody to call her from Podunk, Nebraska. We'll see, huh?
Well, Lucas is from Podunk, Nebraska.
Yeah, actually, Lucas is from a small town called Valentine, Nebraska.
Really? I network administrate a bank in Valentine, Nebraska.
There's something interesting about Valentine. It's like a population of 10. They have one bar that's pretty high scale in the Niobrara River. The other thing is they don't have people like me in Valentine, Nebraska, and he wants to take me home and show me off to all his friends. The only thing I'm worried about is squeal like a pig, city boy.
Oh, God.
That's scary. That's actually really, really scary, Hutch. I don't know what to say. I think we got another caller here. We got about half an hour, 25 minutes till the show ends. Thank you, Theresa, once again for your guest review. We do appreciate that. Enigma. All right, I'm happy that Enigma's calling. About gaming difficulty, let's bring him on. Yo, Enigma, this is djWHEAT. You're on the air.
Hey, guys, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Okay, I was thinking about the gaming difficulty thing.
Okay.
And, personally, like, if you have a difficult game, that's fine and all, but if it's not, like, enjoyably difficult, you know what I mean? Then
right.
That's no good.
Right. Well,
like,
give an example here.
An example?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I was thinking about Eco for PS2. You know that one?
Right, the one where you guide the ghost through the castle.
Awesome. Yeah,
I
like that game. Okay, well, I was thinking, like, lots of the puzzles in that game, they're really well done, but if you only have to worry about the one main character, then they're not really hard at all. But just the fact that you have to worry about the princess, too,
right,
it, like, adds a whole new dimension to it. So, like, I was thinking, like, in order for a game to be difficult and enjoyable, like, it actually takes some sort of innovation in the gameplay, don't you think?
That is actually a really good point. You're right, because if something's new, if it's something that the user is not used to, or the console player is not used to, then definitely it takes a little bit of time of adjusting. And we see that when, you know, people cross genres. Look at everyone that tries to play a first-person shooter for the first time. Right. They look like, you know, they've never walked before. And sometimes you're just like, well, what the hell? Well, there's definitely that different, you know, style of or difficulty in playing just because of, like you said, the innovation there. Gray, what do you think about that?
I'm kind of lost right now. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay, Gray's kind of lost.
I'm in my own
now.
little bubble right now. Yeah.
That's okay. That's okay. But I mean, I agree with you, Hutch. What do you think?
Yeah, you know, I'm in my own little bubble too. So
dude, you guys are. They're like over here, whatever.
For me, it was beer. For Gray, it was the Jack and Crack.
So let me ask you this: any mech games that you would add to the top 5 list?
Mech games?
Yeah, or robot games rather.
Robot games? I haven't played a whole lot. I enjoyed Zone of the Enders, the first one, a fair bit, I guess.
So I heard you say though that you might not play the second one.
Well, it's just I think when someone says that, oh, it's a good rental, that's sort of a turn-off, I think, sometimes. Like, you know.
Well, I didn't mean to turn anyone off. I just meant to say in a week's rental time, you can probably beat it and say that was fun, kind of like reading a good book.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, if you like Zone of Enders 1, then definitely get Zone of Enders 2, because it owns it totally, because Zone of Enders 1 blew, man. I'm sorry. It was way too easy.
Well, I know the story sucked and all that, but it did have really good control, don't you think?
Well, yeah.
I think it had... Go ahead, Gray.
The first one...
Good game. Whoa. Good
Hi,
game.
my name is Feedback. How are you?
You know what? I apologize. It's not going to work. We're screwed now.
Thank
because
you, Captain Obvious.
Yeah, I just screwed that up. Grayscale was talking to you, but now Enigma, I'm sorry, but now you can no longer hear him, and he's deaf. So you know I can translate everything that he's saying, but that might be a little repetitive.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Didn't mean to blow everyone's ears away on that one. Cry Now. That's going to be a good one. There you go. There's some more sounder material for you, Gray. A well-produced show. All right, Grayscale, what do you think? That'll be great. All right. Anything else, Enigma?
No, that's it.
All right, we appreciate you calling in, bud.
Yep. Okay,
Bye-bye. Dude, sorry about that, Gray.
Ouch.
I don't know what the hell's wrong with my little configuration here. I've got to figure out a better way.
Yeah, you do. But, I mean, it's good. We're running 2 people on the same mic right now, so it's not too bad. So
we got the ghetto set up, folks. The only person more ghetto than us is Wax Steven, who uses like a rubber band and a paper towel and a stick mic to shoutcast. And I'm not kidding you either.
Nah, you know what? I should have done that instead of buying a mixer and all this stuff. God, if he gets away with it, just be like, yeah, I'm gonna roll up with some Bounty, some rubber bands that they used for like the dental ones, like the really, really small, tight ones, so that it won't go anywhere.
Yeah, the white ones, huh?
Yeah, no, well, the colored ones, the multicolored ones.
You like to add a little pizzazz to your mouth.
Yeah.
I got some pizzazz.
Dude, that's inappropriate talk right there. All right, the number to call in here, 866-943-2851. I'm looking forward to, now that I'm done with Zone of the Enders, to get playing more on my Zelda. And Hutch, you gotta play it. And oh my God, the inventor of the paper towel rubber band stick mic, Wax Steven, the inventor of the paper towel stick mic. What is up?
What's going on, brother?
Not much. What's going on with you?
No, listen to the show. Good stuff tonight, man.
Excellent, excellent. What are you calling in about?
Not a whole lot. I just wanted to say, I want to talk a little bit about the difficulty of games that you were talking about before. Early on in the show, I didn't get a chance to call in because I was making some food.
Was it, wait. What was it? Ramen noodles with a slice of cheese melted over it?
No, dude, no, definitely not.
Okay, I just figured, you know, if you're good with stick mics and paper towels, you might be good with ramen.
No, the one thing I'm not ghetto with is my food, dude. I actually cook.
All right, good stuff.
I hear you, brother. I can throw down too, but
well, anyway, I just want to
voodoo.
say I totally agree with you. I completely hate the way that like video games are like so easy sometimes, and you just buy it and you like, all right, the graphics are great, the story's great, and it's got all these excellent concepts, and then they make the game ridiculously easy, and you beat it in like no time.
Right.
And that has to do with just about all console platform games. I mean, I can think of only a few that really make it on a list that, you know, are even close to heart.
Can you name a couple that you would think?
Some that were actually tough? Not really. Not off the top of my head.
I mean, that's cool. I mean, I know it's tough to come up with those off the top of your head because really they're hidden among so many incredibly easy games. So, you know.
Earthworm Jim wasn't that easy.
Oh, yeah, that game was hella hard. It was fun, too. It was fun, too.
That was a really good game. That was great art, too. That was one of the games that was like, all right, man, you know, this is really cool artwork inside video games, and I was kind of getting into it with that game.
Well, I love Shiny Entertainment. Everything they've released, I think that I've, at one point or another, put my hands on it. Hutch, what?
You know what I've noticed in the next-gen systems? That the hardest part of the games are the mini-games. Like that card game in Xenosaga, I think is pretty tough. You know, the game itself, pretty easy to go through, but the mini-games are kind of tough. And I
because
think that's...
you can't save in the middle of the card game.
Good game, Konami, right? Konami, originator of the mini card game.
But I agree, Wack, 100%. Now, I want to ask you about the top 5 lists of robots. Do you have any you want to add to that, or do you have any comments about the list?
Not a whole lot of comments, just because I can't really name a whole lot of robot games that I played, and it's actually kind of disturbing when you consider how many games I've actually played.
Yeah. There's tons of robot games.
Yeah, tons of robot games.
I know. I'm just thinking, like, it's ridiculous. If I had to pick, you know, I'd say I have 4 that I can actually
StarCraft.
think of. Mega Man's on there. That's like a cheapo.
Yeah.
Rob the Robot, and I don't think you gave him enough credit. I wish I could hack into the new consoles that are here now, hook up the Rob the Robot somehow, and actually play like every single game with that friggin' thing. That thing was awesome. I still have it.
And
it's in my closet.
And then, you know what? And I think a great way to celebrate is to go ahead and euthanize yourself.
Don't let him get you down. At work, I use Rob the Robot to hold our cards, like our game cards. Like, this is gamers, and this is our card.
Dude,
Take it out of Rob.
Robot is so awesome.
Yeah, Rob owns, and I even heard a rumor that you could sell Rob with Gyromite for like $300.
I was actually just going to say that if you have a Rob the Robot, you keep that thing because it is a collector's item.
It works though.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter?
Nope, it does not matter. It's simply for the novelty, alone.
It's in that original styrofoam case.
Yeah.
That shit's so
Hey,
sorry.
listen.
That's not moving anywhere.
I'll give you a hint from a tech guy to you. Just change the batteries. I bet Rob will work.
Dude, there you go. There you
All
go.
right. So I said Rob the Robot. I said, what else? Mega Man. This is a game that I doubt anybody listening has ever played. It's a Japanese title that I played on an emulator just in a group of games I downloaded. It's called Super Battle Dodgeball.
Yeah, I've played it with all of the Ultraman characters.
Oh, yes, dude.
Yes, I have played it. I know exactly what you're talking about.
That game owns. Dude, you know all the special moves and stuff you can do? I didn't know how to do those until the 5th season, and I still
You're like, it's taking you forever to beat these guys. Yeah, that game is sweet.
I was like, this is impossible. That game was awesome. That was like the perfect hardness level for me.
You know what? For those of you listening out there, actually, you can check that game out at cherryroms.com with the Super Nintendo emulator, cherryroms.com. And what was the name of it? Super Robot Battle Dodgeball
I think it was
or something?
Super Battle Dodgeball.
Okay, I think that's right, too. So check that out. It's pretty funny. So go on. Keep going.
And my number one, which also happens to be on the number one list of the most hated games I have. It is the game that I despise the most in the history of all mankind. But the robot in it is so friggin' cool. The worst game ever, The Sims.
What? It's got a robot?
It's got a robot nurse. It's got a robot maid that goes around and cleans the house. That thing friggin' is sweet.
But you know what? Get rid of the robot.
I played that game for an extra hour because of that friggin' robot.
Get rid of the robot maid and get the monkey butler. He owns.
This is where this conversation ceases. No more talk about The Sims. How can The Sims be number one in everything except for like the best butt wiper?
I've actually had intimate relations in The Sims, and when you do it in the heart-shaped bed. You put it on vibrate, and you ask the person to come play with you. And then when you get out of the bed, you do a little dance, and you get the skill point music. It's awesome.
Weak.
That's sorry.
Yes, the game sucks, indeed.
It's the worst game ever, but I love that little robot that's only out there for it. Just goes and cleans the house.
Wow.
It makes you wish you had a cyber penis.
What?
It makes you wish you had a cyber penis. That's P-E-N-O-S.
No, Hutch wishes he has a cyber penis so he can rape Cosmos.
Yeah, Cosmos owns. Man, me, Cosmos, Shion. What's menage a trois if you don't have three?
Oh, my
God.
Yeah,
this is going nowhere.
The whole entire situation. This is just bad.
This is rated X epileptic gaming.
Punch out, Maverick. Punch out now.
All right, any shouts, Whack?
Yeah, shout out to Soul2 for being a fat bratwurst hamburger. He knows what that means.
All right, fat bratwurst hamburger. Never had one of those myself, but thanks for calling, Whack.
Later, man.
All right, peace.
You know, I see Disbeat, saying some stuff on the boards. Disbeat, why don't you give us a call? It looks like you have some things to say. We want to hear from you, man. Give us a call. Jagaball, I see you responding. Call us up, man. Let's see what you guys have to say.
Dude, Hutch is calling people out. He's calling people out.
The Rickster.
Hold on, guys. I got a story for you. I played Beef Wellington the other day because he wanted.
Okay.
Yeah, he challenged me again, right? So he's like, dude, so like when are we gonna play? I'm like, right now. And he goes, okay, let's find a server. So I get on the server. You know, he's got a little bit higher ping than me, but we change maps, and I beat him 47 to -2. But this is what made it worthwhile.
God.
We went on to play another map on DM6. And as you know, in CPMA, the rockets kind of like force you in different directions by their momentum.
Right.
And I shot a rocket which bounced him up into the wall, and I shot another rocket at the wall, and he wasn't but like maybe 3 Quake guys high. And the rocket that hit the wall shot him down at a very quick angle, and he cratered. It was the best kill ever. It was the best kill ever. All right, we got Rumina on the phone. Rumina, this is djWHEAT. You're on the air.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going with you?
Just like everybody else, I want to give you guys props for a great show.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, man.
Sure thing, but my brother wants me to call and tell you guys give props out to Armored Core for your robot game.
Definitely Armored Core, you know.
All right, word.
When
Armored
it came,
Core gets some.
Yeah, when it came to robot games first on the PlayStation, you remember, Hutch, when we used to play versus mode. We were like, screw the missions in that game. We set up versus mode. We gave everyone the same mech, the same abilities, the same weapons, and we would just go at it for hours.
It was fun. But listen, all I gotta say, Armored Core 2, Another Age, PS2, didn't do it for me, man.
No.
Kind of sucked.
Yeah.
So, Armored Core's cool, but not that cool.
Did you play that series?
Yeah, well, I played it, but my brother's
Yeah,
a
I
big
did.
fan. But I mean, I think 3 was pretty cool though.
3?
Definitely.
Yeah. Any other games?
Yeah, I want to talk about Cyborg Justice. You guys ever played that? A Genesis game?
Cyborg.
Pretty old. Like when it came out back in the day, it was pretty awesome because you could rip off parts and like put them on your own arm.
No, I've never played that one. For the Genesis, you said?
For the Genesis, it was kind of like Final Fight-ish.
Okay.
Kind of go through the game, and it's really cheesy.
Do you know who it was made by? Because I'm going to check that out.
I'm not sure who it's made by. I have the game, but I have to dig it out of my closet. So.
All right. Well, I'll have
cool
to.
Game.
And what's it called again? Cyborg Justice.
I'll look for it.
All right, we're going to check that out.
I'll look for it at work. I have a Genesis that I keep in my room as my bedroom system. Yeah, I'm a gamer. My friends call me a GHEYMER, but screw them.
Oh my God.
Oh. Any other games?
Yeah, for the whole robot topic, and also kind of has to do with the difficulty thing, does anybody remember a game called Metal Storm for the NES?
Oh, absolutely.
Where
Absolutely.
you change the gravity and stuff?
Yeah,
It was a kick-ass robot game.
that was pretty nice. That's a good pick right there. I have to agree.
Yeah, I agree, too. That game was hella hard.
Yeah, that's definitely my number one choice.
Cool. Anything else? Any shout-outs?
For shout-out, I'd like to give a shout-out to Fictional.
Yeah, he's an IRC going, yeah, hooray for Rumina. Shout to Fictional.
God.
Nice.
All right, guys, great show. Nice talking to you.
Hey, great. Thanks for tuning in, buddy. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Later.
So, good stuff. I think we got about 10 minutes remaining, and then we're going to be wrapping up Show 7 of Epileptic Gaming. Next week's review, The Wind Waker. Grayscale, he's going to surprise us. Hopefully he's not going to choose Britney's Dance Beat, because we already heard about that from our special guest reviewer,
No,
Theresa.
I'm going to do Celine Dion's Dance Beat.
Oh, I
next.
bet you would. I bet you would.
Yeah, I would.
Cyborg
Yeah,
Justice was made by Sega, 1993.
Lionel Richie's Dance Beat, because I think they changed it to actually Dancing on the Ceiling, because, I got that feeling.
You just did it backwards, actually.
Oh, my God.
Oh, I got the feeling. Yeah. All right, Diz Beast called in, Hutch.
What's up, Diz?
Wait,
But you know it's kind of scary?
What?
Marcus knows Wheat knows the order of that song.
Ebony and Ivory. Dude, what can I say? I like Stevie Wonder, like that whole Paul McCartney thing going on. And, wait, what song were we talking about again? Oh, Lionel Richie, too.
Yeah.
Come on. At least he didn't sleep with little boys.
Yeah. Although Wheat does go to
Good
Neverland.
point. Good call.
Whatever. All right, we got a caller on the phone. Hutch, you asked him to call in. Diz Beast, yo, what's up?
What up, Diz? Let's hear what you got to say, man. You're flaming the boards. It looks like you got some knowledge.
Hold on 1 second. Hutch, you keep calling it the boards, but it's IRC.
Dude, no. You gotta let it go, because that was totally something you could gig on about. Be like, back in the days, we used to talk on the board.
Diz, what's up, buddy? What's up?
Not much. First and foremost, I want to say Chrono Trigger should have been on the list, one of the best RPGs of all time. And the robot in there was suck, but he's a robot, so the game should make the list.
Yeah, I agree. Chrono Trigger should make the list, but maybe an honorable mention. I mean...
Yeah, not, top 5, but definitely something up there.
Right.
And Sonic the Hedgehog, man. Dr. Robotnik. Come on.
Dude...
Games.
Sonic...
Eggman! Whatever. Sonic
is like... gay. Basically. And Mr. Robotnik, what a reject of a villain. I mean, really. Let's be honest here. He's he is, but he's the same guy. I mean, in terms of recurring villains, he's got to be on, my worst villains of all time list. I don't know why. Just never really liked him.
He didn't even graduate from villain school.
Yeah, he did not even graduate from villain school. That's a good one. But I don't know. I mean, I understand he's definitely been around in, 12 games now, so you got to give him some props.
Well, I think he beats the hell out of that Kingdom Hearts Disney.
What?
Final Fantasy Disney. That's just BS, right?
Dude, so next thing you're going to tell me is that Crash Bandicoot should be on the list, because Cortex owes, right? Good game.
Also, Gibbs wanted me to say Star Siege because he's poor and can't afford a phone.
Star Siege?
Dude, it's a 1-800 number. How could you not afford to walk to the nearest payphone?
Doesn't have a phone, period.
He could walk to a payphone and call.
Yeah, well.
Gibbs, you know what, buddy? Dude, stop living in the ghetto. But just like our pal Tupac said, that's just the way it is.
Dude, you can go to Best Buy and buy a month's worth of phone for like $25. What's going on, man?
I wanted to agree with that baseball 2020.
Oh yeah, baby.
I was actually playing that earlier before the shoutcast on my Genesis.
Oh, look at that.
Okay, hey, tell me, is it 2020 or 2002?
Dude, I thought you meant
2020.
I thought you said 2020 baseball. I have it on my list as 2020 baseball.
Okay, listen, folks, you guys know he said 2002.
Dude, you know what?
I always said 2002.
I said 2002. But I screw up all the time and say crap like that all the time, so that doesn't mean jack.
Yeah, but I liked that game where you hit the foul balls like 1,000 feet. And
exactly.
You on base, and that game was just awesome.
That was the bomb.
Right.
Yes.
That's pretty much all I had to say.
All right.
Hey,
good job tonight, guys.
Hey, Dizbeats.
Yep.
Just read what Teresa's saying on the boards. That's the only one that matters.
IRC.
Oh, whatever, dude. Come on.
Dude. Old school.
You are such a Kingdom Hearts fanboy.
Listen.
I can't say anything though because I haven't played it.
I still listen to Run DMC, Old School Beastie Boys, Tribe Called Quest. It's the boards, IRC, whatever. You say bananas, I say bananas. You say tomato, I say tomato. It's boards. Yeah,
no, dude, it's like me saying apple and you saying orange.
Exactly.
It's not a tomato thing. It's like
It's obviously wrong here. So.
What's that?
Teresa's obviously wrong here.
Oh, whoa. Well, you can fight with her on the boards.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, you can fight with her on IRC. I give up. Jeez.
All right, man.
Guys.
Thanks for calling. Peace. All right. I think unless someone rings here in the next couple seconds, that's probably going to be our last caller of the night. Otherwise, 866-943-2851. Thank you for joining us here on Epileptic Gaming, Show 7. Nice, we're finally, starting to get a few shows under our belt here.
To be honest, I wasn't really looking forward to the show because, like I said, I always look forward to doing the show, but riding around the car with my friend Aaron, doing whatever we do when we're riding around the car was just so much more interesting to me than the game itself that we had to review. So, but
suck it up.
I'm sucking it up.
Shut up, go play Kingdom Hearts.
Hey, I've already beat it twice, 100% completion.
Well, then go beat it the third time. Shut up.
No, Xenosaga and Legend of Zelda. Anyways, on a different note, it was a great show tonight. It was definitely surprising. I thought it'd be a little bit slower, but it went well. Good game. Everyone who called, I loved it, man. Thank you for making a great show. And, I don't know. What do you got to say, What do you got to say, Gray? There's one more call.
All I gotta say is the people on the boards rock, and they will always rock for my boxers until Hutch calls the boards IRC.
You're Joe
But
Boxers.
aside from all of that, though, but this show, I think this show is probably, just for me to be candid, was probably the best one to date, only because we didn't agree on anything.
Right.
And it's not a bad thing at all.
No,
because usually it sounds like we just go along with each other and stuff like that. So now we finally actually
we had
have
some conflict.
opinions about
yeah.
other things.
Hey,
yeah, it was good.
looks like
it was definitely a good show.
Looks like we got one more caller, my friend Jagabah. Hit us, bro.
What's up, Jagabah?
Not too much. What about you?
Not a hell of a lot.
Good show, by the way.
Thank you.
Topic, Zone of the Enders, was it?
Yes.
Zone of the Enders, difficulty in games, and what was it? Robots?
Yeah, the top 5 games featuring robots.
I don't know if you guys noticed it or not, but I was spamming a link to JonathanRobinsons.com, and it has this Flash movie regarding robots, and all I got to ask you is this. Do you have stairs in your house?
Many.
Yes.
Well, just watch the movie.
All right. Hey, drop that link to me in direct PM and let me check that out.
Oh, sure.
All right. So, do you have any games you would want to see on the list?
On the list?
Yeah. Like the top 5 list, any like robot games?
You know, I don't have any in mind.
All right.
I really need to start playing some more console games.
Yeah, console games are pretty fun. You know,
Yes.
PC games, there's a lot of mediocre titles, but console keeps me hooked.
Yeah, right now I'm playing Ace Combat 4, and I don't think that has any robots, so...
No, it doesn't.
Just a lot of planes.
Yeah,
Yep.
the planes are fun.
Jagabah, you got any shout-outs, man? We gotta kind of wind down.
Yeah, well, before I go there, I just want to talk about management soccer.
All right, lay it down.
Someone's going to bring this up.
I don't know what you guys were making fun of, the fact that it's a soccer game and you manage it, or the management genre itself.
Management genre, I think.
I'm not a soccer hater. I'm just like the management genre, you know.
Wheat's brother is like one of the best goalies I've ever seen, actually.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah, so we're hating on management, man.
Oh, no.
But you did mention that you would guest review the game if it comes out, so we're going to hold you to that.
Oh, sure, definitely.
Awesome.
Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the management series,
Oh,
and I've
boy.
done some real-life management myself.
Well, there you have it. This game, you'll have to let us know how the difficulty level is and if it's really like managing. And if you could do a female team, be a female coach, and go into the locker room. That's sweet.
Because me and a girlfriend coached a female soccer team. We didn't do too well.
And Hutch went into the locker rooms.
Yes, I did.
And Hutch got arrested.
They were
like,
17.
You ever seen Porky's before?
I had an eye hole in the men's room. It was sweet.
Oh, my God.
All right, man. Well, Jacob, we got to wrap up the show.
Okay.
So thanks for calling in, bud.
Before I go, I just want to say this beast is a newbie.
All right. Noob. Later, man.
Nice.
Bye.
Good game.
Okay, see you later, guys.
Later, man.
Dude, someone said I forgot Gunjack from Tekken. Oh, my God. That's the worst. He literally, dude, the only thing he did.
Dude, I was going to bring up Combat from Tekken 4 just to see your reaction. I just wanted to see your eyes. Even though I couldn't see it, I just wanted to see you, like,
yeah, screw
imagine
that.
you punching your mic, like, don't bring up that game ever again. Ah!
Yeah, forget that. All right, folks. Well, we got to bring this week's version of Epileptic Gaming to a close. Number 7, it's in the bag next week. Number 8, not sure what everything, all we're going to do, but we are going to have at least a review of Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. So if you've been looking forward to that show or you own a GameCube, you're definitely going to want to tune in. Also, we'd really, really like your support. If you think you got a couple of buddies that play some console games, let them know about what we do. We'd love to hear from them. Guys, I've had a great show. Any final comments before we go? Gray?
Nah, just going back to what I was saying before. Best show, we all had a certain opinion about it. The calls that came in today, very greatly varied, and they were all awesome. Thank you guys for calling in. Thank you guys for tuning in, and check us out next week. We should same bat time, same bat channel.
That's right.
Good times indeed.
Yep, definitely. Thanks for everybody calling in. Appreciate it. And, we'll see you next week.
All right.
Looking forward to it.
This is djWHEAT, NiceGuyEd, and Grayscale. Another edition of Epileptic Gaming in the Bag. Folks, have a great night. We'll see you next Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.